week, Saturday Night Football is rolling into West Lafayette. Purdue has almost played spoiler to Ohio State perfect season. 2002, Crenville to Jenkins on 4th down. Before the year started, I said Ohio State game that they got to be worried about is at Purdue.
To X.
Here we go. Go 20.
They like seeing people play their tails off every single play.
Jeff Brom tries to get his team playing with a chip on their shoulder.
What does the Boilermaker do every single time?
And it's working.
He hammers down. He hammers down again. And then he hammers down.
We're working there.
Going live.
Dwayne Haskins, with the season he's having, he could own every passing record at Ohio State.
Rondale Moore, he's going to be worthy of a helmet sticker by Saturday night.
5. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. This is
Purdue is pumped up for this ABC National Showcase. Welcome back to this presentation of the Big Ten on ABC. Urban Meyer's teams at Ohio State 27-2 on the road. He's with Maria Taylor. Hi, Maria.
All right, Coach, so we know that Purdue generates big plays, occasionally off of trick plays. What does your defense have to do to start the night?
Well, they're going to have their plays. You got to get them on the ground and make them go the distance. You know, make them earn their yards.
Dwayne Haskins just came up behind you, gave you the bunny ears. What do you have to see from him early tonight?
We got to control this crowd a little bit and get some first downs and play field position and then hit some big ones too.
All right, thanks for your time.
Got the bunny ears there from Dwayne Haskins.
Out of Scarlet, it's about a 3.5-hour drive to Columbus, and Ohio State fans, we know how they travel, and the Scarlet sprinkled in among all these black Purdue fans here tonight. Not a full blackout, but the Boilermakers wearing the all-black uniforms. There's one, he's in the wrong section, but he's got plenty of friends in Scarlet and Gray tonight here. Ohio State won the toss and deferred. Purdue received, but they're going to work right into the wind in the first quarter. It's died down a little bit, but it's going to be a factor kicking and throwing the football. Lake Hobbiel to kick it away, and it's taken by Rondale Moore. And the freshman electric returner and slot receiver tackled at the 17. So David Blau comes from the Dallas area. He's a graduate student. He's got deep faith, perhaps a future minister. He's made 7 trips to South Africa to mentor orphans who've been orphaned by AIDS down there. Quite a young man.
Yeah, just a tremendous leader. Brings all the intangibles to the table to this football team. Gave a great speech, remember, a couple years ago at the Big Ten lunch, and just a great representation of this school. And will have to play well tonight, obviously, to give themselves a chance.
10 touchdowns, just 2 interceptions on the season. DJ Knox, the rugged tailback, motions in. They fake it to him. Blau wants to throw, and first down. And it's the catch made by Rondale Moore, who escapes. Look out. He's got blazing speed and a lot of power to go to the 40-yard line as well.
Very first play, they're going to give Rondale Moore space. Look how far off Jordan Fuller is. You cannot do that against number 4, Rondale Moore. He is too quick in space. Ohio State needs to put somebody up tight on him to try to slow him down.
Now he goes in motion. They throw it to him on the far side. It's bobbled, and it's ruled incomplete. Moore with 45 catches. That's 25 more than the second leading receiver here. They'll operate behind an offensive line that should have its hands full tonight against the Buckeye front.
But it is a veteran bunch. Kirk Barron, 53, is the leader. They're going to need something out of their running game, which means DJ Knox, one, is a guy to watch. Sparks and Zico have to step up along with Hopkins to try to take some of the heat off of the freshman. Moore.
Yeah, Jeff Brom feels he needs a big game out of 89. His tight end Hopkins. They work the middle, and they tried to feed it right to him, and it's broken up by Werner, who figures to have some challenges in coverage tonight.
This defense, of course, has had to learn to live without Nick Bosa, Chase Young, and Draymond Jones, the leaders up front. Tough Borland, and also Malik Harrison back in the lineup.
Damon Arnett did not make the trip. He's suffering from a head injury, so Jeffrey Okudah steps in as the starting corner.
Got great length, and will have to hold up in man-to-man coverage. Great player.
This is the challenge against Ohio State big time. 3rd and 10. They show pressure up the middle. Blau backpedals, has a clean pocket, but delivers way over the head of his tight end, who was pleading for a flag. There isn't one, and the Boilermakers will have to punt.
Well, coming out of the break, he got grabbed with a face mask. That's what he's upset about. When he came out of his break, Isaiah Pryor grabbed him by the face mask, not the jersey. That's what he was upset. The big guy right there, slowed him down and affected the timing between the quarterback and the big tight end, Hopkins.
Joe Shopper is a 4th-year punter for Purdue. Gets it away. They pressured him. And a fair catch made by K.J. Hill, short-handed receiver who takes over at the 23-yard line. So here comes Dwayne Haskins. We've told you his story before. He's kind of living his dream as Ohio State quarterback. I asked about Heisman contention. He deflected that, but said, in the video game world, the game you were involved in, he was twice the Heisman Trophy winner.
There you go.
So he may live out that dream, perhaps.
He has been so poised and has handled himself so well with all the success that he has had. He's quick to deflect all the attention. Again, tonight, he's going to look to spread this defense out and then take some shots downfield.
And right away, the offensive line with a flinch here.
False start. Offense number 13. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
It's the tight end Rashad Berry. They're right in front of the Purdue students. We've seen this offensive line deal with noise at Penn State.
And remember, last week this offensive line had some real issues up front against Minnesota, especially Isaiah Prince, the right tackle. Could not run the ball as well, and also the pass protection was an issue. Now here they are on the road a week later.
Boilermakers bring pressure off the edge as a flag down as Dobbins gets a screen and slips down short of the 20. So right away, defensive coordinator Nick Holt giving a blitz look.
They may have had an illegal formation here. It's like maybe 5 guys in the backfield.
Haskins was trying to direct traffic pre-snap, asking whether the Boilermakers want to decline the penalty.
Illegal formation. Offense. 5 men in the backfield. The penalty is declined. 2nd down.
Now they'll take the play, which resulted in just a short gain. So 2nd and about see where they spot the ball.
You can see all, including the quarterback. 5 there. Receiver up at the top, needed to be up on the line of scrimmage, was not. So a couple miscues for Ohio State here early to start this game. With the way they throw the football, that's the beauty of Dwayne Haskins. He can get you out of these holes.
Paris Campbell on the edge, and that excellent blocking core of Buckeye receivers not able to create space for him. Jacob Thieneman drove him out. Thayer Munford is playing through a hip injury. He's trying to grit his teeth at left tackle tonight.
Yes, sir. And as a group, the entire group's got to do a good job of keeping Haskins protected. Dobbins needs a big night to throw the ball or running the ball. And you know about McLaurin, Campbell, Mack, and company on the outside. Been a huge addition to this offense this year along with Haskins.
Excellent 3rd down team this year, but the Buckeyes need 11. Haskins gets it out. Campbell on the edge. Can he make a man miss? No. Sure-handed tackle over there, and the Boilermakers force a punt.
Good job of mixing things up. Purdue has got to get creative, and that's what they do. You'll see a stunt from the outside with Derek Barnes, and even though Haskins getting rid of the ball quickly, that pressure forced him to get the ball out fast, and that's a big key right there. Can they rally against the Ohio State speed and tackle in space? That time they did on 3rd down.
Good tackle by Simeon Smiley, the backup safety. So early mental mistakes by Ohio State put him behind the sticks, and here's Moore, the punt returner, who is just absolutely electric every time he touches the ball. Boilermakers much better field position now on their 2nd possession. Well, you know about Nick Bosa's groin surgery this week. One of the best players in the sport announced he would withdraw from school to focus on the draft, making a business decision rather than try to rehab and perhaps play in a postseason game. It's been much talked about in the Buckeye Nation for sure, but they'll have to do without him for the rest of the season. Chase Young had a tremendous game in his absence at Penn State, picking up the slack, but it's not easy to make up for the loss of number 97. Boilermakers from the 40. They fake it to Moore. And Blau, with the back foot, just slings it into the bench. There was good coverage. Your reaction to Bosa's decision, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how you're viewing that decision. We don't know the depth of the injury, and we've heard from his father that at the very earliest he would have been back mid-December at the earliest. So he decides to pull himself away from the program, and some people are a little bit surprised that he wouldn't stay with his team. But as you said, business decision to get ready for the draft and get his body in the position it needs to be to possibly be the top pick overall.
Now, few programs emphasize the NFL as much as Ohio State does in their complex. It's hard to be surprised when a guy decides to make a decision based on the NFL. And off to Markel Jones, and he is swarmed right at the line of scrimmage by Baron Browning, the middle linebacker.
If you're an Ohio State fan, this is a great sign. They've been kind of waiting for Browning to kind of take over in that middle spot and do this quick. Didn't hesitate, got downhill, avoided the lineman getting up to the second level, and no gain at all. That's the instincts. This is a guy that was the #1 linebacker coming out of high school, but yet as a sophomore hasn't quite been able to deliver. That was a great play there.
Blau, after hitting Moore in his first pass, incomplete on his last 4. Empty backfield now on 3rd and 10. Buckeyes bring some pressure. Blau again fading away and throws it over the head of Moore. And he is knocked down after the throw. Sean Wade in coverage there. Here comes the punt team.
Well, Ohio State, they brought 5. Draymond Jones actually is able to beat his man Shane Evans, the left guard. Just comes right through there. And see Chase Young trying to get there, but eventually it's 86 who gets in there along with Cooper. And I'll tell you right now, Ohio State doing a nice job of affecting Blau, who came in as hot as any quarterback in the country, not settling in just yet because of that pressure.
And throwing into this pretty stiff breeze in the first quarter. Buckeyes come after the punter, and there's a flag. They knocked down Shopper. And if this is a personal foul, it will be a first down. Justin Hilliard's their star on special teams. Makes a lot of big plays, but he ran into Shopper. Let's see if it's the 5-yard or 15-yard variety.
First indication looks like it's running into the punter.
In that case, it would not be a first down.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a pretty good acting job by Spencer Evans. In fact, the flag didn't come in until late.
Running into the kicker. Defense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 4th down.
So Shopper, the veteran, tried to draw the personal foul, didn't get it done. And Hilliard's penalty doesn't cost him a first down.
Launch point was where you want to be. He actually went underneath of Shopper.
Yeah, it looks like running into.
Yeah. Sorry, I called him Evans. It is Joe Shopper. See, Hilliard does. Yeah, that's the right call, running into, and another kick. Remember, you talk about trick plays. It's early in this game, but Ohio State, the first punt, they were concerned with the alignment of Purdue's punt team. So you said with all the trick plays, always have your head on a swivel and be ready.
This time they peel back to set the return. I mean, Shopper, a very high boot. Hill's going to come up and make a fair catch at the 25-yard line. So far the defenses have dominated. Second possession for Dwayne Haskins with those 28 touchdown passes to lead the FBS.
Saturday Night Football on ABC is presented by Walmart. Discover more ways to shop at Walmart today. And in part by Nissan. Innovation that excites.
Now the great Drew Brees, but an incredible quarterback tradition. Leading with Greasy, unbroken into Phipps, into Gary Danielson. Mark Herman from 77 to 80, right into Jim Everett.
It's impressive.
Drew Brees, of course, the all-time passing yards leader in the NFL. Prepping for the Ravens tonight. He's going to try to look in on this game as much as he can, but he's a total pro, and he
locked in.
Takes his job pretty seriously.
He sure does.
Mike Weber is the back. And they flip it in the flat. And Johnny Dixon able to get about 5 yards. Here's our Chick-fil-A impact players tonight, Kurt.
Yeah, of course, you got to look outside of the quarterback with Haskins out on the perimeter with K.J. Hill and Terry McLaurin, 2 really talented wide receivers. Marcus Bailey, who's from the Columbus area, went to Hilliard-Davidson's got to make some plays and get pressure on Haskins. And Thieneman, 41, guy they like to blitz, especially on 3rd downs. He'd be very, very active in run support, 41.
Haskins 4 for 4, but only 11 yards so far. Play action, and they sling it to the middle, and another catch up at the 45-yard line. Hill has a first down.
And does a nice job. Remember, this is a zone, so as you see the receiver work across the middle, here's the soft spot in that zone. This is what makes Haskins so good. He feels that, senses it, and gets the ball out quickly.
Playing with tempo and a first down handoff to Weber, who barrels for about 3.5.
You know, people have talked about where is the running game gone in recent weeks, and Urban Meyer and his staff have said publicly to the media, you know, the RPOs, the run pass options have indicated for us to throw the ball based on defensive alignment.
And this is Weber in the flat. That's almost like a running play. Makes the catch, dives, but a yard short of the first down. Kenneth Major knocked him out.
Yeah, and I think what you're seeing is a lot of those passes, the passes out into the perimeter, the short, quick passes, are really, they've become an extension of their running game.
And there's a first down carry inside the 45 to Weber.
With that being said, I would also tell you, in my opinion, watching this offensive line, I thought this line by the middle of the year would start to become more physical and more dominant at the line of scrimmage. So we could talk run pass option all we want. I don't think the line has gelled. I don't think they have the continuity that they had hoped to have at this point, and I don't think they're blowing people off the ball the way they had hoped to.
Boilermakers bring pressure. Haskins hit as he throws, but he gets the ball to Luke Farrell, the tight end. They're considered a better pass protecting offensive line than run blocking, right? But they gave up 4 sacks to Minnesota.
Yeah, they sure did. And I think the other thing is you take away over the last things. Urban Meyer's been the head coach at Ohio State. He had Braxton Miller, J.T. Barrett for the most part, dual threat quarterbacks. They were part of the running game. First time other than Cardale Jones, they haven't had that.
They fake it to Campbell, and Weber on the misdirection is knocked down. Good open field tackle by Major, the corner. It'll be third down and about 3.
You know, when I had Northwestern in Purdue week 1 on a Thursday night, Chris, when you were with the U.S. Open, and they didn't really have any answers at corner. They had a lot of young players, and Major has developed in these first 5 weeks.
Flag before the snap and a false start, and then I'll back him up. It'll be third and about 8 or 9 now.
False start. Offense number 59. 5-yard penalty. Remains third
That's something to watch, though, because when Isaiah Prince makes a mental mistake like that, sometimes the mistakes come in bunches and he gets down on himself.
And I will tell you this, after the week he had last week, especially in that second half, now he's on the road with a crowd. You get to third down. I'm not surprised he's jumping the gun there a little bit to try to get outside, try not to give up a sack the way he did last week.
That's made it a much more challenging third down play. They need 8.5 here.
And Purdue will bring pressure.
They're showing it pre-snap.
See, he sees these linebackers right here walking up. And they drop out.
And now Haskins, who rarely scrambles, is hit hard, way short of the marker. Marcus Bailey out of Columbus, Ohio, who is keyed up for this game, made the stop.
Now watch, he made a check based on all those linebackers up tight. He wanted to get the ball out quickly. Nick Holt, great job of showing blitz. Haskins checked to a blitz beater, and then at the snap of the ball, they drop back, rush 3 and drop 8, and sit in a zone. He had nowhere to go with the ball. Cat and mouse game, a chess match, and Nick Holt and Purdue win that one.
Bailey, Kirk talked to him. He said, I'm going to have to keep my emotions in check, not be sky high. Buckeyes did not offer him a scholarship, and he was highly motivated. That had to feel good. That stop on the quarterback on third down. Buckeye special teams do a superb job. McLaurin, the receiver, flying down there, got a hand on it, and the Boilermakers going to be backed up a foot from their goal line.
Urban Meyer prides himself on special teams. The progressive pylon cam shows you when you have starters on special teams, you get breaks like this, and it ultimately affects field position.
With DirecTV, more for your college football thing. Oregon, Washington State, Mike Leach getting creative. Watch the center split out, snaps back on a diagonal, and then James Booby Williams turns the trickeration into beast mode. Gets 6. That crowd still going wild this morning on game day. Cougars up 7-0 in the first, Chris.
Cassidy, that was an amazing scene, and they had the early lead. Boilermakers take over at the 2. It was a tough run by DJ Knox. McLaurin first touched the ball at the 2. Was down inside the 1, but they spotted at the 2. And the Boilermakers, after 23 yards in their opening play, zero. Next 6.
Yeah, and the timing of that punt and that hustle by McLaurin and Dante Booker, who ended up downing it, huge to pin Purdue back. David Blau, in his experience, he's been through a lot of adversity. Off to a slow start, needs to find a play to kind of find some rhythm. Tough to do when you're pinned back this deep.
They fake it, and from the end zone, he fires second completion. Catch made by Jared Sparks. And the man who came here from Louisiana as a quarterback, converted to wide receiver, moves the sticks.
And Okuda had him on cover. Watch how he bails, and then he just stops. That's exactly what you want if you're David Blau, looking to try to go into that rhythm that I talked about. Sometimes it's just one pass like that that can get you going. He's had a hard time settling his feet in some of these first few throws. We'll see if that throw can settle him in.
Sparks got 16. They get out from the shadow of the goalpost, and now here comes the reverse. It's a flea flicker. Blau looking for a receiver, tried to find the tight end, but Hopkins was well covered, so Harrison swallows him up for a 3-yard loss.
You've been talking trick plays all week. Ohio State did their homework because they had everybody covered downfield. Very good job of being disciplined by Greg Schiano's bunch downfield. Nowhere to go with the football. So typically they try to catch a safety, napping, coming up in run support. But Ohio State, that time ready and in position.
Yeah, Jeff Brom loves the special plays, but he also knows that penetration can blow them up, and they won't work if the Buckeyes are getting in the backfield like that. So now on second and long, a long throw. A flag comes out as Moore makes the catch.
Now there's defensive holding on Shaun Wade, and it's still, and he's on Rondale Moore. It still did not stop Rondale Moore from being able to pull out of that hold and still eventually make a reception.
You saw his coming out here in the opener against Northwestern, and there was a lot of hype coming in, but he has even surpassed the hype.
Yeah,
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense number 24. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
How explosive is he in and out of breaks?
Keep in mind, we'll show you a video. It's the face mask right here. Grabs a hold of the jersey as well. Moore doesn't give up on the route. The kid squats 600 pounds. I mean, he's like 175 to 180 pound true freshman. He had some big-time schools out there looking at him, whether it's Texas or Ohio State or Alabama, Florida State, you name it. And he pulls the hat out and he puts on Purdue and surprised a lot of people. Keep in mind, went to the same high school as Jeff Brom in Louisville at Trinity.
That comes from Southern Indiana, but actually moved across the river to go to high school in Louisville. And now Blau's under pressure, and he's going to be slammed to the ground. Jonathan Cooper got there to clean it up. Chase Young is providing pressure as well. To Maria Taylor on the sidelines.
Well, one thing that Rondale Moore has proven is his maturity for sure. And one thing that David Blau told me was before they even had any practices during those scrimmages in the summer, he would FaceTime him to check in with David Blau so he could write up every single play on the script because he wanted to know exactly what he'd be running the next day. That's how invested he is in this program and being the best player that he possibly can be. And we see it displayed on the field all the time.
And Maria, you know how rare that is for a true freshman to walk onto a campus and do that.
And play action. Blau makes a long throw. Moore, a juggling catch. The whole skill set on display. He's a very confident young guy, and he knew he was going to have the chance to make impact plays this year if he came to Purdue.
You're right. This is big-time recruit against big-time recruit. Shaun Wade, who's from IMG, matched up. He's a redshirt freshman, matched up against Rondale Moore. That's good against good. Two really talented players. And Moore right now having his way against 24 Shaun Wade. Remember, this drive started inside their 1-yard line. We talked about it. Any moment, Blau can find that rhythm and get things going.
Yeah, he's had 3 completions into the wind in the drive. They've already moved it 51 yards. Knox, who is not the fastest guy, a powerful runner. Runs with a chip on his shoulder and some anger, but it's going to be 4th down. So a decision for Brom here, Buckeye territory. Need less than a yard.
He's an aggressive coach. Be shocked if he didn't go for this. He's already calling the play to get it ready. Good play, by the way, by Malik Harrison, 39. Sat out last week with a concussion protocol. There's already a couple times you've seen him make plays at the line of scrimmage or near the line of scrimmage.
They've only converted once on 4th down all year in 4 tries. Blau sneaks it and gets it inside the 45.
Yeah, he followed the big fella, Kirk Barron, the center, and Dennis Edwards, the right guard. Keep in mind, Dennis Edwards, Western Kentucky transfer, 64, a big fella, over 300 pounds, graduate transfer.
Western Kentucky, of course, is where Brom came from. He was a Petrino assistant for a year, then the head coach for 3 seasons. Took him, and they won 3 bowl games in his years with the Hilltoppers. First down throw, and that's the tight end, Bryson Hopkins. His dad, Brad, know him well from the Titans and the Houston Oilers, 13 years, all-pro in the NFL.
Yep, played at Illinois, really good player in college, and also obviously had a great career in the NFL. Has to be proud of his son, becoming a really good tight end.
And Knox around the right end, cuts back, knocked down by Okuda. It'll be third down.
I think DJ Knox is a perfect fit for this scheme that Jeff Brom likes to run. You get so caught up in the spread formations, all the receivers, the quarterbacks getting rid of the ball, and then if you don't remember, this offensive line is physical, and DJ Knox is a physical back, low center of gravity, tough guy.
Really broken out the last couple of weeks. Had a big touchdown run against Nebraska, ran for 150 against Illinois. A third down throw from Blau, and it's Moore across the middle. Beats his man again. Very tough to get to the ground with just one defender, and he's inside the 25.
And you want to try to find any way you can to get number 4 the ball in space. They blitz Werner 20, and Pryor's late in coming down. I'm telling you, you can't afford to give Rondale Moore 3 yards, 4 yards, and think, okay, I'm in good position, because they're just looking to dump it to him and let him dance and make plays.
No freshman in the country has made a bigger impact first half of the season than Rondale Moore. Pressure immediately. Blau trying to spin away and throws it away just before the sack. Heavy pressure, Malik Harrison.
Greg Schiano, as you get deeper and deeper into Ohio State territory, you're going to start seeing these blitzes. You can see a lot of pressure. Malik Harrison coming right up the middle. Turf Borland also coming in. And I'll tell you, David Blau, a magician that time to somehow get rid of that football and throw it in the direction of one of his wide receivers to not get the intentional grounding.
Like his elusiveness. He has a feel.
Just
not
enough.
The fastest guy, but he can scramble and escape and extend plays. They can pressure again. Blau lofts it down the sidelines, tries to get it to Sparks, and here comes a flag. Defended by the speedy Kendall Sheffield, but it's going to be offensive interference on Purdue. That's the signal.
He was grabbing over top of him and pushed him down.
Offense, number 12, 15-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Sheffield got physical, but the ball was not up into the air. And then as you continue to see Sparks try, look right there, he grabs on it, headlock, pushes him down. Good call by the official.
Man, Purdue, a very impressive and important drive from their own 2-yard line, but offensive pass interference is almost always a drive killer. And they are way back at the 38, trying to get into field goal range into the wind now. 2nd and 25.
Good job by Sheffield using his body position there to block out the receiver, Sparks.
Blau backpedals, it's a screen. Knox has a lot of room. Cuts it back. Loses the football. It rolls out of bounds at the Buckeye 10. So Purdue retains possession.
But it'll come back.
Right.
Yep. Right where he lost the football.
I still think he's got a first down. It's about the 12-yard line where they're putting it down.
Yeah. Move the sticks. How about the call, by the way, Chris? Ohio State's been blitzing like crazy. What's a great answer to a blitz? Set up a screen pass to a talented running back in Knox and get him the football out in space.
It was Reap who eventually caught up and knocked the ball out of bounds. But the Boilermakers from their goal line trying to get to Ohio State's goal line. Wrestled down behind the line, Markel Jones. Davon Hamilton, who says that Ohio State's defense has got to start faster. They got to prepare better. Hasn't always been a fast starting defense.
Blau is looking for matchups down in this area. He's got to be able to find it. They've struggled to score touchdowns down in this area. This is where he's looking for his big tight ends, or also Rondale Moore.
Exactly, Kirk. The 31 red zone trips, only 17 touchdowns. Kicked 11 field goals in the red zone. And now a throw to the end zone. Caught, touchdown! Isaac Zico! and Purdue goes 98 yards on the drive.
How about Zico? A little bit of a bobble. Right foot gets down right there. And I think his right foot is in. Possession after the slight bobble. There's just a little bit of a bobble at the beginning while the left foot's down, but when the right foot touches there, he's got possession, and that is a heck of a play by Zico, who had a huge game a week ago against Illinois with 5 catches and 127 yards.
Tremendous job by the senior out of Georgia, the junior college transfer in his 2nd season here. Just a sliver of grass between his foot and the sideline there. And that is an incredible drive for Purdue. They had been sputtering and struggling on offense. Backed up at their 2. 15 plays, 98 yards in more than 7 minutes.
Offside. Defense made contact. The penalty is declined. This is a try for point.
That is not a Purdue drive, Kirk. We talked about their reliance, their dependence on big plays. They don't churn out drives like that typically.
No, and they were able to convert some 3rd downs, keep that drive alive. They had a 4th and short to keep that drive alive.
Wow, it was 7 of 8.
Yeah.
And now Spencer Evans on for the PAT. He missed 3 this year. Point afters have not been automatic for the Boilermakers. Had one blocked. One went off the upright. That was the senior from Texas. This one is right down the middle. What a drive for the Boilermakers.
You know, there's the touchdown. And I want to go back to that long play by Knox where he fumbled the ball forward and where they placed the ball. First of all, this is a great effort at the far right by Isaac Zico. Battling with Sheffield, who's in good position. Outstanding throw, but the concentration by Zico gives him the touchdown. We mentioned it during the first review of this. The right foot is in. It's clearly a touchdown. But you go back to that play where Knox is. Another good look at that. Go back to, remember, that was a crucial 3rd down where Knox had fumbled the ball at the 17-yard line, and it went forward out of bounds at the 12. They placed the ball at the 12-yard line, gave Purdue a 1st down. The ball, and with Dave Kataya, who's up here, he could explain this better than me. Dave, the ball should be placed, I believe, where the ball, and especially when it goes forward, where the ball is knocked out.
When the ball is fumbled forward out of bounds, it's supposed to be restored to the spot of the fumble, which was not the 12-yard line.
17.
It was the 17-yard line, correct.
That was crucial. Gave them the 1st down. Purdue capped off their longest drive of the season, both in plays, yards, and time. So the Boilermakers, 2 touchdown underdogs, jump on top. Now Johnny Dixon charges up, makes a fingertip grab of the kickoff, and has space. Dixon, stutter steps. Terrific return out across the 45 of a very short kick into the wind. With a look at this fumble and the spot, which is curious, Dave.
Okay, you can see that he loses possession at around the 17-yard line. The ball goes forward and out of bounds. That, because it goes out of bounds forward, it is returned to the spot of the fumble, which was the 17-yard line. And that is reviewable.
It actually rolled out at the 11. They spotted at the 12.
Right.
Doubly confusing. Would not have been a 1st down on that play. Now Haskins takes a downfield shot, and McLaurin is wide open, but with the wind at his back, he overthrew the receiver. There is a flag near the line of scrimmage.
Personal foul. Hands to the face. Defense number 98. 15-yard penalty. Automatic 1st down.
Kai Higgins is penalized. It'll move the ball into Purdue territory, but not often do you see Dwayne Haskins miss an open receiver deep like that.
No, and Ohio State's motion giving Purdue a miscommunication, and Purdue catches a break because Dwayne Haskins, wind or no wind, doesn't miss very often. Told you, they lull you to sleep. They throw a lot of the underneath routes, and just when you think that's where they are, they're going to hit a vertical stretch and a vertical seam, and that's what they had there with McLaurin.
Dobbins takes the pitch, gets the edge and will be knocked down after a 6-yard gain. Cornell Jones, the middle linebacker, was there. And there's another flag down.
Flag in there late. And Dobbins getting up. Remember, the pregame festivities involved Cornell Jones, 46, and Dobbins. And that time, Jones pushed Dobbins down after he got tackled out of bounds. There was a lot of, you and I were on the field. 46 was right in the middle of it.
The play was over. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense number 46. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Remember what Jeff Brom told his team in the pregame speech. Don't get caught up in this kind of stuff. Don't do the jawing. Just play your game.
He makes a tackle, and then he has to do that on the Ohio State sideline. And you know, I called a game, the first game of the year, same thing where they made a mental error with Lorenzo Neal, cost him the game against Northwestern. Those are the things you can't do against a talented team like Ohio State and try to expect to pull off an upset.
So 2 personal fouls by Purdue, setting Ohio State up in the red zone. Haskins slings it near side, catch made, and McLaurin is knocked down right there. It'll be a 1st and goal.
This is a great example for all of us that when you watch a team like Ohio State, they're battle tested. They played against TCU. They were down in that second half, had to look at each other and find ways to come back, and they did. They went to State College. Looked like with 8 minutes to go, they're out of that game. Boom, they found a way to come back. So when you go through those experiences, you really don't panic. You get into this kind of situation on the road.
Dobbins runs right into heavy traffic. Boilermakers were crowding the line. Absolutely. 8 down against TCU, 12 down 4th quarter with the hysteria of a whiteout.
Right.
And Haskins was money.
Yes.
End of the 1st quarter, though, and the Boilermakers with that 98-yard drive lead at 7-0. Back after this message and a word from your local ABC station. And welcome back. Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, and Maria Taylor as the Buckeyes begin the 2nd quarter, threatening to even this game at 7. The ball is at the 7.
Matchup that they want to try to go for is right here. KJ Hill against the safety Thieneman.
Dobbins slipped as he cut, and that ruined the play. He'll be stacked up back at the 6. Anthony Watson Jones stopped him. One of 4 natural grass fields in the Big Ten, and you could see it play a part there.
And not only slippery, but Purdue really aggressive. Brought their linebackers down. Defensive linemen getting off of blocks. Good aggressive approach there by Nick Holt, the defensive coordinator, set up this 3rd and goal.
They got Dobbins far to the left, the bottom of your screen. 5 receiver look. Hill now motions in. Haskins for the end zone. Deflected and knocked away. He was looking for McLaurin, and Antonio Blackman was there to break it up. And the Boilermaker defense makes a stand.
Ohio State had a couple receivers at the bottom with Dobbins. They're trying to create a pick there, but really outstanding effort by Blackman not to get caught up in that. The receivers didn't get enough depth to create the traffic, and it allowed Blackman to eventually catch up and knock that ball away. And plus the ball underthrown a bit by Haskins.
2nd game that Sean Nurnberger is not going to be able to kick because of a groin strain. So Blake Hobbiel, that's how the family likes the name said now, Hobbiel. He's been the kickoff specialist, but a very reliable field goal guy too. Buckeyes on the board, but Boilermakers keep him out of the end zone. Taco Bell is celebrating student sections this season and passionate fans like these by awarding the best student section of the year. Boilermaker students already on the national watch list. You can go to ESPN.com/Taco Bell to see how your school can compete. So Ohio State comes up with 3. The 2 15-yard penalties against Purdue don't really cost them, as the Buckeyes kept out of the end zone in the red zone. And now Rondale Moore to receive a kick. This is now the Buckeyes kicking off into the wind, and Moore's going to have a chance here. And he doesn't need much space, does he? Scampers out to the 34. No one loves their school more than Purdue student Tyler Trent and our Tom Rinaldi on game day. Just a superb piece, Tom, and what a moment tonight for Tyler.
Chris, as you mentioned, a story we shared on College Game Day early this morning, as this entire fan base has rallied around one of their own, sophomore Tyler Trent. Trent has fought through cancer 3 times to form an incredible bond with this football program. There you can see the type of fan that he's been. He served as an honorary captain last season, and then again this season, forming a special bond with head coach Jeff Brom. After the team defeated Nebraska, they went and presented him with the game ball after he had to leave school as a result of his illness. Now in home hospice care, 20 years old, Chris. He has circled this night, this game, as the place he most wants to be. There he is, against long odds after an incredibly difficult week. Tyler Trent has rallied to make it here tonight, looking on from the suite. And I guarantee this, no one, Chris, more fired up about this Purdue lead than that young man, Tyler Trent.
It's a beautiful story. You saw that he cut the P into his head.
Yeah.
He is a deep, deep fan of this program. And you saw the sack on first down. Now they tried another screen, but he threw it back into traffic. Tyler is very active on social media. You've been meeting with him a bit.
Yeah, he and I have communicated a little bit, and Tom did such an incredible job of telling his story, and Tyler is such an inspiration to so many people with his strength and his courage and his story. His family's obviously been there every step along the way with him, and we all are in Tyler's corner and with his family.
David Blau and Jeff Brom, so many of this program affected by his strength, his spirit, his example, his love of this school and this program. Boilermakers facing a 3rd and 19 here. Ohio State rushes 4. The tight end Hopkins is over across the middle, but he's going to be short of a first down by a few yards. The sack on first down set him back, and Purdue will have to punt.
Greg Schiano has come into this game with a very simple plan on 1st and 2nd down. We are going to blitz them with our middle linebackers and get to that quarterback before he can beat us in man-to-man. It's worked most of the drives until the last drive where they went 98 yards and put a touchdown up on the board to take the lead.
Chopper's been under pressure, hasn't gotten the punts off super quick. Buckeyes don't really come after this, and now with the wind at his back, it's a deep boot that drives KJ Hill back to the 6-yard line, makes a fair catch there, and now it's Ohio State's turn to be backed up inside their own 10-yard line. Down by 4, 51 yards on the punt.
See him and then get used to that uniform, isn't it?
Weber, a first down carry, gets it out across the 10-yard line.
It's one of the better carries they've had tonight. They've now run the football 8 times. They have 20 rushing yards.
Only have 67 total yards. This is the team that, as we said, 6 of 7 games has topped 500 yards of total offense. Haskins pressured, trying to escape, and is going to be knocked down for a short loss. That was L. Jones who got him.
Well, they brought linebacker safety. Carnell eventually gets to him. This is what he does. This is what they like to do, is bring the linebacker and bring the safety, try to win one-on-one matchups against a bigger lineman, and that's where Jones' athletic ability, this sophomore at 240 pounds, gets right by Demetrius Knox with quickness.
Kirk, you talked about the offensive struggles with the running game. It's been a struggle on 3rd down, too. 1 for 4 so far. Boilermakers rush 4. So Haskins has time. That's an easy pitch and catch as Johnny Dixon grabs it, and it's a first down. Did not bring the blitz that time.
Well, they back off of Dixon because he has such great speed. And Nick Holt, who's there with the glasses, fired up because he gave too big of a cushion on 3rd down. Blackman's bailing, and you got to know that that ball is going to be coming out a lot sooner on 3rd and 7.
First down catch by Benjamin Victor out to the 29-yard line. The lanky receiver had the huge touchdown play in the comeback over Penn State.
I'm always amazed college corners at 3rd and 7 are bailing at 10, 12, 15 yards and just giving the easy first down.
Weber hit immediately and spun down at the line of scrimmage by Kenneth Major. The corner has been active so far tonight for Purdue.
Yeah, Chris, I mean, for a freshman, he's been dealing with a little bit of a hammy. You know, think of corners, you always think of how they do in coverage, and he's probably their best cover guy, even though he's a freshman. But I tell you, he's physical, gritty, tough guy. You see it on that time. He dictate there, gets involved, and kept Ohio State short of that first down.
See what the call is for Nick Holt's defense. Third down. Buckeyes need 4. And now there's going to be a flag.
Offense number 59.
No, boy.
5-yard penalty.
Second time for the senior who's a captain on this team, Isaiah Prince.
You know, after the game against Minnesota in the second half, if you watch the game and watch some of his reactions, some of the quotes from the Ohio State coaches, thought it became mental as much as just physical struggles. And now in a row to errors, you can see Urban Meyer frustrated. It's his captain and leader. He's kind of yips right now. It's third down.
Now they need 9. Haskins is pressured, steps up, delivers a strike. KJ Hill's got it again. Another first down to the 35. Accurate throw by the quarterback.
Watch the pressure again. Watch him step into this as the linebacker Bailey hits him. That's a big-time throw by Dwayne Haskins. It's one thing to sit back there, and it's almost like 7-on-7. It's another thing when a big safety at 240 pounds is about to hit you, and you keep your focus downfield and throw a strike.
Twice completions on 3rd and long, and now Weber bangs across. A flag comes in late after a 7-yard gain. He was behind play.
Holding. Offense number 73. 10-yard penalty. Repeats first
Time
down.
it's Michael Jordan, the center, and the mistakes. Kirk piling up for this embattled offensive line.
I was just about to talk about Jordan had a chance to go one-on-one with Lorenzo Neal right there in the middle of the screen. I thought it might have been a good block because he ends up putting him on his back, but you can see he's got a hold of the jersey there and then eventually puts him on his back to give Weber some running room, but the officials caught that. Good eye down there by the official to see that.
It's about 625 pounds colliding there. Neal did a good job to raise his hand and say, hey, he's holding me.
Yeah.
He's holding me. 1st and 20. Haskins look to the flat, now pitches it to Hill, who had a couple blocks, but the Boilermakers close him down. That was Ohio native Bailey.
Yeah, Marcus Bailey, when you looked at this defense when they came back this year, they only had 3 or 4 guys that had played extensive football. Bailey is one of them. The loss of Jawan Bentley, his the guy who played middle linebacker for them last year, was really the leader. But Bailey out of Hilliard-Davidson, close to Columbus, really fired up, as you said earlier, Chris, and making good plays.
Empty backfield. Weber is split out to the bottom of the screen. Haskins looks across the middle and fires a short completion there to C.J. Saunders out of the slot. It'll be 3rd down and about 6 this time.
Yeah, that's just that play is just to try to create a one-on-one matchup to the quick Saunders, very fleet-footed 3rd down type of receiver where they get some space just to set up a more manageable 3rd down.
Haskins has been very sharp in his 2 3rd down plays in this drive. Boilermakers bring pressure, good protection, low throw, incomplete. It's 4th down. Didn't really get near him, but it was enough to affect the throw.
And I think it affected Haskins a little bit of a slow snap, just didn't quite have his rhythm. Ball is not thrown as accurately as you typically would see. Ohio State, you know, tonight on offense, only 4.5 yards per play. They came into tonight averaging 7 yards a play on the year. So Purdue doing a good job defensively on Ohio State.
Drew Crispin to punt into the wind, and here's Rondale Moore coming up to make a fair catch at the 26-yard line. So this Purdue defense, which has given up a ton of points and yards, coming up big so far tonight. They'll go back to work up by 4.
My burger goes best with mustard.
Ketchup and mustard.
Grass-fed beef.
No, corn-fed.
Yeah, we told you when we came into this game that Rondale Moore, the true freshman, could do a lot of different things, and Ohio State had to account for him. And when you give him space, it's an issue. They've done a very good job of being creative at times, using him as a decoy, which set up a big play to DJ Knox. Even this play, look at the safety looking at Moore, opens up the touchdown pass to Isaac Zico. The safety's a little bit late getting over, so Rondale Moore having a big impact so far on this Purdue offense and what they need to do.
He's in the backfield. Blau instead looks over the middle, and he's got the tight end running free. This is Cole Herdman, and he barrels well into Ohio State territory, the veteran senior tight end.
So these linebackers are getting aggressive coming in here. What do? You look right behind them. If they're going to come down in there and expect to either blitz the quarterback or be in run support, look for the tight end Hertman getting right behind aggressive linebackers, which Ohio State's been doing all night.
19-yard gain, or 29-yard gain, I should say. And now, what looked like it was going to be a flea flicker. Knox it was a fake. He looked like he was going to pitch it back to Blau, kept it, and muscled forward for 4.
I don't think he fooled anybody, but you know what he did? He showed how physical of a runner he is. You're right. It was a fake flea flicker back to the quarterback, but at 5'7", 210 pounds, he is a tough guy to get your hands on. He just lowered his head, and instead of a loss, he ends up picking up 4 or 5 yards.
He's strong, Kirk, but I think it's just his attitude. He just runs mad. It has as much to do with anything as the broken tackles. Now they fake it to him. Blau's going to scramble, heave it downfield, jump ball, flag down, catch made by Zico at the 11-yard line. Now did he push off?
Yeah, he pushed on the back of Kendall Sheffield. This will come back. By the way, David Blau got crushed when he threw that football.
Landers came in, the old junkyard dog defensive tackle, and hit him. Linemen are trying to get him straight.
Pass interference. Offense number 7. Pushed off. 15-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
It's the second offensive pass interference, and
I know
Blau's in some pain after the hit.
Yeah, a little stutter and go. Sheffield never puts his hands on him. The only hands that were put on anybody is the receiver. Zico pushes the corner, Sheffield, right in the back. Created that separation. That's what the officials saw. That is a big hit by Landers. We call him the junkyard dog out of Huber Heights. Went to Wayne High School. Great high school and a great player.
So Ohio State will use a timeout. The penalty backs the Boilermakers up into their territory. It'll be 2nd and 20 when you come back. All right, Cassidy. Purdue's had 4 15-yard penalties in this first half. Now face a 2nd and 20. Buckeyes bring pressure. Blau backpedals and delivers a low throw, incomplete. Trying to get the ball to Terry Wright. Ends up on his back again.
They're doing a good job of getting pressure on Blau, who is always trying to work on getting his feet set, even after movement. There's the pressure. See how he's kind of falling off? Jeff Brom telling us this week, as good as he has played, the one area that he still wants to work with him is stepping through his throws instead of coming off of them.
Brom knew, Kirk, that penalties like they've had in many of their games just were not going to work against a defense as good as Ohio State. They were able to overcome it in that touchdown drive. But the second offensive pass interference really set him back, and now it's 3rd and 20. Buckeyes running defenders on late. Ohio State not giving a real pressure look. And getting off the edge quickly there. No flag. Blau delivers across the middle. Moore, look out. Moore's tackled right there beautifully by Sean Wade. That time Wade got the better of that matchup. Yeah. It's 4th down.
Chris, you're all over it. I don't know if people realize how good of a play that is in the open field against Rondale Moore. That is a tough thing to do. As Moore does a good job off from the right, working over the middle. He beats him, but then you can get an idea how fast Sean Wade is in space. He eliminates the cushion and then is able to go low and come up with that tackle.
He didn't buy the stop and go that Moore loves to do. He got stop and a dime and then accelerate again, and so many defenders have looked foolish this year trying to tackle him. Here's Shopper trying to pin Ohio State deep. Kicks it with backspin very high, and they are able to down it. So Purdue does its job on the punt team, and Ohio State will be backed up once again. To Tom Rinaldi.
Chris, thank you very much. We just shared the story of Tyler Trent, and up now in the box with him. Tyler, you have circled this on your calendar for the longest period of time. Had to leave school just a few weeks ago. Didn't want to do that. What does it mean to you to be here tonight?
Oh, it's such a blessing and super special. Haven't had the greatest week health-wise, and so just to be here is a wave of emotions for sure. Especially to see all the support and all the signs from everyone, and it's been just incredible, honestly.
24 hours ago, let people know what you were going through and what you thought the chances were that you'd be here tonight.
24 hours ago, I was in my bed trying to sleep, puking all over the place. It was not pretty. You did not want to be there. Thankfully, my family was, and there to support me, and honestly thought it was going to be about zero that I was here. So,
what did it mean to you when you saw the Boilermakers come out tonight? You had quite a reaction.
Yeah, my eyes, I definitely started tearing up just because I didn't think I was going to be here 24 hours ago. And next thing you know, I'm up here and watching the Boilermakers up on Ohio State right now. So it's hard to complain about that.
A huge 3rd and 1. Looks like the Buckeyes do get the first down. You are a sports writer. You know this program as well as anybody in this stadium right now. Knowing there may be some bias involved, let's get a prediction here the rest of the way.
I'll pull for Purdue, 24-17.
A close one.
Oh yeah, it's never not close with Ohio State. They got a good program year in and year out. So.
We appreciate you sharing this story. You've touched so many, and you've inspired even more, Tyler. We really do.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Guys?
Tom, if you think you've had a rough day, you have obstacles in your life, think about the strength of this guy. He's inspiring indeed. Absolutely awesome he's able to be here tonight and feel this support in person. Haskins loops it, tried to get it to Campbell, was behind him. Talked about Drew Brees watching the telecast, and like everybody in this extended Boilermaker family, inspired by that young man's strength. Your school loves you too, the Tyler Trent. We all feel your strength and are inspired by your will. You are special. You make us all better. We are with you.
It's awesome.
Boilermaker for life. He's got a sharp analytical mind here. He knows it's going to be tough. It's going to be close, and plays like this 3rd down could help decide this game. Ohio State needs 6. Purdue rushes 4. Haskins has a lot of time, and it's another pitch for a first down to the 25-yard line. That's Saunders again.
Well, they brought the blitz, but the Ohio State offensive line does a much better job of accounting for that blitz. Put a wall up that time. You give Dwayne Haskins time to set his feet. He's going to find an open man. And this time it's the quick, fleet-footed C.J. Saunders who settles in there and makes a nice play for that first down.
He took a big hit at the end of the catch. He's got some sod on his face mask, and the athletic trainers are out talking to Saunders. But Ohio State has moved the ball out of the shadow of their own goalposts out across the 25-yard line. Saunders, a junior from Dublin. And they'll take him to the sideline to continue the examination. And we saw this afternoon Tua Tagovailoa, the lefty from Alabama, riddle Tennessee. Dwayne Haskins from Nissan Heisman Watch, also a strong contender for that trophy. Can you give a lefty and a righty Heisman? Right. Divide it up, maybe?
Boy, it's going to end up being a heck of a race. Dwayne Haskins is continuing to put up numbers. We'll see how tonight goes, the rest of the year goes. Of course, Tua at Alabama. And Kyler Murray is having a monster year at Oklahoma. The Sooners back in action, and he had a big day today against the Horned Frogs.
Hot pass to Paris Campbell, who's chased by Jones, but he gets the corner using that speed and gets within a yard of the marker.
It's like we have a flag up there where Paris Campbell went down.
Holding. Offense number 13. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
It's the second penalty on Rashad Berry, the tight end tonight.
You know, he's had a couple. He had a false start, and now the hold. Locked up there with his safety Thieneman, doesn't let go of him, and right in front of the official. Pretty good effort there by Paris Campbell to get to the edge, get around the corner, and pick up some yards.
Mark Lazinski's crew has spotted the hold. One of these guys that tried to grab a jersey, they paid the price tonight. So Haskins backed up, flips the screen to Dobbins. He's got blockers. J.K. Dobbins in the clear. He was just held up briefly. Still able to get a first down before Mosley drove him out.
You know, it's not been a big night so far running the football, but you still want to get Dobbins involved. What better way than just a simple little screen to let the lineman get downfield, and you get him, much like Rondale Moore, you get two and White out in space. Man, he can make a lot of people miss.
And he had a gap, but he sort of stumbled. Now Haskins across the middle. Oh, Mo's intercepted. It was Jones dropping deep into coverage against Hill. Had it in his hands.
Jones does a good job getting vertical. All of a sudden the ball is on him. He's in perfect position to come up with that interception. And I don't think Dwayne Haskins thought that Jones would get that kind of depth to be able to be in position to make a play on the ball. By the time he turned, ball was in his hands, just unable to hold on to it.
Very nearly just the 5th interception for Haskins. He hands it off to Dobbins. Yeah, Jones is a guy that plays nearer the line of scrimmage. He's like a run-stopping middle backer. Don't expect to see him cover a receiver.
Yeah, I love when Nick Holt talks about Jones, and he says he's a Mike linebacker. He's a Big Ten linebacker, meaning he's physical. And we mentioned they lost Joanne Bentley, the leadership and the playmaking ability at that spot, so they needed Jones to step up this year. And he and Derek Barnes have really become a great team with Marcus Bailey.
Yeah, they don't come out of the game. They asked their linebackers to play a whole lot of snaps, and there was some feeling that maybe Jones has been wearing down the last couple games, but he's come up big so far. On 3rd down, they bring pressure. Buckeyes pick it up, and Haskins makes a long throw for a first down to McLaurin.
There's that NFL arm from one hash all the way to the sidelines the other way. Soft cushion again. The line does a good job there on 3rd down. Tight spiral. Right where McLaurin can make that play. That time Blackman, instead of bailing there on 3rd down, was actually a little bit closer to being able to make a play on the ball, but the accuracy and velocity by Haskins prevented that from happening.
McLaurin came in, Kirk, just 118 yards short of 1,000 for the career, which would give Ohio State 3 1,000-yard receivers for the career for the first time ever. From the pocket, Haskins looking downfield for Hill, one of those guys, and he's dancing around inside the 20.
Well, this is a matchup that KJ Hill will win every time when you match him up one-on-one. They're playing man-free. There's not a safety back there to help. You can see right when he got off the line of scrimmage, he had a chance to get separation from Smiley, who's the nickelback. A mismatch. That's what Dwayne Haskins can bring to the table. Not just the accuracy, recognizing the mismatch and the one-on-one opportunity where you can win, and he hits it.
Good for 32 yards. Boilermakers showing pressure again. Haskins going to have to hurry. Play clock at 3. You just get the snap off. Long throw for Dixon in the end zone, and he overshot him. The Boilermakers, just by showing that blitz, disrupted some of the timing. Thieneman, the safety, came.
Nick Holt trying to do the best that he can. Realistically, they're undermanned up front. And their corners right now, they're trying to mix up coverage. Show some zone, show some man-to-man, bring some pressure, rush 3, drop 8. Nick Holt, who's been around the college game for a long time, doing a good job of trying to confuse Dwayne Haskins.
Years as a Pete Carroll understudy at USC, was also at Washington. 2nd and 10. Dobbins escapes a tackle and really has to earn a short gain. It'll be 3rd and long, though. Blackman drove him out.
See, that's an example where you hear Ohio State's coaches saying, well, we've been doing a lot of run-pass option, and we've been throwing a lot, and when we run, the numbers just aren't right. Well, there's an example where the numbers are right, and the offensive line just gets whipped up front, and there's nowhere to go for these backs.
Averaging just combined 2.3 per carry tonight, Dobbins and Weber. Continuing the theme you talked about from recent weeks. Can Haskins create another accurate throw on 3rd and 9? Got to hurry. And with the play clock winding down this time on 3rd down, Urban Meyer spends a timeout. Each team has had a long grinding drive into the wind, which is moving left to right on your screen here. Purdue earlier went 98 yards for the touchdown. Now, Kirk, it's been a 14-play, 83-yard drive for Ohio State.
Ohio State has talked all week about the red zone being better, being more efficient. They've been inside the red zone area once, did not come away with a touchdown. See if Haskins finds a matchup that he likes. A little bit more zone here.
Pick up the pressure for the end zone. Incomplete. Benjamin Victor was there, and that's Blackman, who has broken up a couple of potential touchdowns tonight.
How about the effort here? Because he's beaten on the left here. Good job of finding the big receiver. Look at the positioning of that football. Right where you want it to be, and out of nowhere, Blackman doesn't give up on the play and gets his left hand in there to knock that ball away from the long receiver, Benjamin Victor.
So once again, Ohio State gets down in the red zone, but doesn't reach the end zone. And Habil, for his second field goal attempt tonight, he hooked it. So he had been very, very solid, filling in for the injured Nurnberger. Buckeyes drive it 83 yards in 16 plays and come up empty.
It's a huge stop by this Purdue defense. Great effort by Blackman to set up the field goal, and a backup kicker ends up hooking it left. Now, Jeff Brom has a decision to make with 3 timeouts and 1:51 to go. He's talked all week about being aggressive. He's talked all week about these last 4 weeks. The reason our offense is better is we're taking our shots. We're being aggressive. This is a great position here for him to be aggressive and try to go get some points.
I think he has to be shocked, honestly, that his defense has held Ohio State to 3. He thought he'd have to outscore.
I think everybody thought that.
We all did.
Yeah, I thought it'd be a shootout.
Let's see how bold the former quarterback at Louisville is. It's a first down handoff, and Knox breaks free. Knox in the clear, banging off Buckeye defenders out near the 40, and that should change the complexion of this drive now.
Ohio State got so far upfield at the line of scrimmage that it actually created a seam for Knox to be able to find, and he had great vision to be able to find that hole.
19-yard gain. He's got it again. And with those timeouts to spare, let's see, will he use one here? Not yet.
Start getting the linebackers coming downhill. You wouldn't be surprised to see to try to throw the ball in behind them.
Wow, pitches it downfield, has a man wide open. Zico, the man who made the touchdown catch earlier, wrestled down at the 20.
Kendall Sheffield did not get hands on Isaac Zico. See how Zico goes right behind him? Good recognition by Blau. Terrible job there by Sheffield of not getting hands on to slow down Zico to be able to get the ball, to be able to eventually get it downfield by David Blau. And I don't know, Sheffield, not like him. See, he's down. He's going to take a knee. I don't know. It's not like him not to reroute or jam the receiver.
Very slow to get up. One of the fastest corners in all of college football, the 60-meter indoor record holder at Ohio State. And Chris Felica, the Bear, not with a question this week, but an Aflac fact. Bear.
That's right. Tonight's Aflac game fact. Purdue looking to be the top 5 team for the first time since 1999 when they beat Michigan State. The head coach of that team that they beat ranked in the top 5 that night, Nick Saban.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a Drew Brees. It was maybe the most humbling, infuriating game Saban's ever had in terms of defense. Brees went nuts to Chris Daniels.
With Sheffield out, now you have Wade move from nickel to corner up at the top.
Blount, a low throw. Rondale Moore goes down to get it again. The clock ticking, but they've got those 3 timeouts.
And Sheffield actually will come back onto the field. One of his own players hit him and caused him to have to go out for a play, but he now comes back out, and Dante Booker runs off of the field.
Plenty of time with those timeouts. Blitz, end zone throw, and way over the head of Sparks. It's 3rd down and 3.
See how Ohio State tries to defend Rondale Moore. They have Sean Wade right opposite of him. Remember, the underneath route, crossing route has helped him. This time he moves to the offense's left. They also have the big tight end is an option off to the right-hand side, Herdman.
Turkino late first half, but a crucial play here. The Boilermakers need 3 to move the sticks, keep hope alive of reaching the end zone and stretching this lead before halftime. And this would be a score that would reverberate around the country if Purdue goes in up 11 at the break. Ohio State crowds the line, brings the pressure. Blau delivers, and it's dropped across the middle by Moore, who whacks himself on the helmet. That would have been first and goal at least.
They motion Knox to open up the middle. We just talked about crossing routes being what you would look for in a one-on-one matchup with Rondale Moore against Wade. It's there. He got separation. The ball is there. Moore, if he catches that, it's a first down at the very least.
All he's done for the team, you forgive him a mistake, but that was a crucial one. Because now, instead of a first and goal, it's Spencer Evans. He's kicked a lot of field goals this year, 11 of 14 from 30 yards to make the lead 7. And it's a fake. And the holder takes off and is going to be knocked down at the 9-yard line by Jordan Fuller. Shopper took off, but he got the first down. Wow.
He's had an active night tonight. The punter and holder, it was just a matter of a race to that corner. Whether he would get there before Jordan Fuller ended up recognizing it. Watch Fuller run 4, and it's just a race. Can he get there? Can he get to that first down marker before Fuller hits him? And he just gets it.
So this is the kind of gambling that Jeff Brom is known for. That's a tough run. Lower the shoulder and take a shot. He got 4 on 4th and 3.
Or
Purdue spent a timeout.
Or stand up upright and take a shot.
As you said,
he's lowered his shoulder.
He's fairly important. I mean, he's a punter and a holder. You don't need that guy knocked out of the game. But the calculated risk pays off. I'm playing football tonight, Coach.
As you said, man, that's Jeff Brom in a nutshell. We knew coming in we'd see some trick plays. And he decides here, we talked just before this drive, is he going to be aggressive? He talked about being aggressive all week. And there's an aggressive decision.
Kevin, Mack, and the Capital One halftime report, 31 seconds away. But now Purdue, a chance to reach the end zone. It's a tough one. It's first and goal at the 9 against this stout defense. The earlier flea flicker gamble didn't work. That fake field goal did. Wow, rolls that direction and delivers underneath. Touchdown! Moore makes up for the drop and reaches the end zone. And the fake field goal pays off big time.
What a design by Jeff Brom. See, Tyler is fired up. Isaac Zico, who caught a touchdown pass earlier, does a really good job of setting up an illegal rub or a pick that prevents Isaiah Pryor from getting out there to make the play in man-to-man coverage.
7th catch for Moore, 90 yards. And that drop, Kirk, that looked like it was going to be costly, looked like it might cost the Boilermakers 4 points. But the fake called by Brom, executed by Shopper, and here's the touchdown.
Yeah. Good job by Isaac Zico. He'll come from outside, and he doesn't touch Pryor, but he just gets in the way of him. And also, you'll notice a nice pick, or nice little chip block here by DJ Knox on Chase Young. Just enough. There's the rub, and you give Rondale Moore a rub like that, a rub on a rub route, just enough room. He's going to walk into the end zone with that speed, with his speed after the catch.
There's the progressive pylon camp. As you said, Zico didn't block anybody. It was legal, but he got in the way. And there's the reaction from Tyler. And the entire Boilermaker Nation has to be thrilled with what they've seen in the first half, especially from this defense. The lead is 11 now. Brom got him fired up before the game. But I think in his wildest dreams, he didn't expect to hold Ohio State to 3 points in the first half. And if Ohio State's going to keep their undefeated season and leadership of the Big Ten East alive, once again, they are going to have to come from behind, double digits down in a conference road game. With the wind, kickoff just pounded deep into the end zone. Haskins has had some good-looking throws, and they've generated 173 pass yards, Kirk, but it's been the red zone tonight that's been the problem for the Buckeyes.
Twice down inside the red zone, unable to come away with touchdowns. He is 20 of 26. And, you know, they had a vertical pass where he missed McLaurin. They've had some chances, but a lot of it's been the underneath throws. The underneath throws typically for Haskins eventually lead to finding the vertical seams. Hasn't happened as much as you'd think here in this first half, but still an entire second half to go for both these teams.
There's Weber. And the Boilermakers, who have not been a very efficient red zone team, they're 2 for 2 touchdowns when they get down there thanks to the execution of that fake field goal. And that has been the difference. One team's been a lot better in the red zone than the other. And the Boilermakers, 2 touchdown home underdogs, will lead by 11 at halftime. Officials keeping the teams apart. They have to cross each other as they go to their respective locker rooms. All the folks dressed in black tonight, very excited about what they've seen. This team that began the season 0-3, 3 difficult, close losses. Now 30 minutes away from a huge upset. Let's go to Maria, Coach Brom.
All right, Coach, you went with the gamble on the fake field goal, and it pays off. What fueled that decision?
I think we understand this game. We got to take some chances. The great thing is our defense is playing aggressive. We're making some plays on offense. And on special teams, we're playing aggressive. And I think that's going to make a difference.
You got the #2 team in the nation down 2 scores going into the locker room. What will be the message to your team coming back out?
Well, there's a lot of game left. And while we played a good first half, this team's going to come out. I've seen this team come back numerous times. They're a great football team. They're well coached. We got to continue to play hard. We got to continue to play aggressive. We got to continue to take chances and hope that will pay off in the end.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Good assessment. Aggression in all 3 phases of the game for Purdue, but Brom knows Ohio State doesn't panic, and they've come back plenty of times. 14-3 Boilermakers. Capital One halftime coming up right after these messages.
Look around with artificial.
Welcome to the Capital One Halftime Report.
14-point underdogs at home. David Blau, a pair of touchdowns. Purdue's playmakers doing work. They're up 14-3 against #2 Ohio State. Buckeyes will get the ball to open up the second half. Meanwhile, another shocker going on. Oregon, Washington State, and Pullman. How about this? The Ducks. Washington State driving, and the Ducks look lost. Little trickeration there. Center lined up to the right side, everybody to the left, and here comes James Williams going to the right side, and he survives and then goes in.
Well, it wasn't about the trickeration. It was about Oregon not tackling the running back. They haven't played well tonight.
Talk about flat.
Hangover.
Exactly.
Hangover after the Washington overtime win last week, and Washington State is all over them.
Mario Cristobal frustrated right there. Gardner Minshew, the touchdown pass to Aesop Winston. Yeah. Washington State at home, game day there. It was a big deal, and they are performing at night. Welcome to the studio. Kevin Nagandi here alongside Mac Brown and Jonathan Velma. So the surprise that we have on our broadcast, how is Purdue doing it?
Well, the Ohio States of the world are going to get the best shot early, and they'll get a surge, but they've stopped Ohio State's running game. They got 28 yards rushing, and they're beating them with speed in space. And they got to do something to slow that down.
So what I love to see right now is the pace that Purdue's offense is going with. It's keeping Ohio State basic on defense. David Blau's been able to scan the defense, pick his poison. Rondale Moore, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, Ohio State has to start the game over and understand they've won a lot more than Purdue, so they probably still come back and win this.
That's later on ESPN. Right now on ABC, the Boilermakers trying to spring an upset trap. Saturday Night Football, presented by Walmart. In this presentation of the Big Ten on ABC. Purdue more efficient in the red zone. A big gamble that paid off for Jeff Brom. And an 11-point cushion. Ohio State, Kirk, will get the football begin the third quarter. We've seen them come from behind against TCU, come from double digits down at Penn State. Got to try to do it again. This first drive feels pretty important for the Buckeyes.
It does. You know, we came into this game expecting a competitive game, but a shootout. We thought that Purdue had a chance to score on Ohio State's defense, and definitely Dwayne Haskins against his Purdue defense. And here we are, 14-3. Ohio State missed opportunities in the red zone. They were down in there twice, only came away with 3 points.
There won't be any panic from this team, though. The quarterback stays very cool and calm in these situations. And again, the kickoffs with the wind tonight are just sailing deep into the end zone. There's our Pacific Life game summary. We talked about Purdue's big play offense. It was a long, methodical drive, 98-yard touchdown drive, but Ohio State not able to execute when they got in the red zone.
Yeah, Purdue's done what they needed to do defensively to be able to knock the ball away. Ohio State just the 3 points in the red zone. Blau with a slow start, but then started to settle in and make some big plays. Isaac Zico's had the touchdown where he just got the right foot in for their first touchdown, and then he created a pick, which gave Moore enough room to be able to get to the corner and give them that touchdown after the fake field goal.
Yeah, 90 receiving yards in the first half for Moore. Haskins looking to throw. He's grabbed as he gets it off to Barry, and he makes a man miss and gets out across the 35-yard line. It's a first down.
You made a great point, Chris. We talked about it earlier when Ohio State got down. They have been there and done that as far as being down to TCU away from home at Penn State in a hostile environment, able to come back from that. There's a belief.
Hill on the edge. TCU, they scored 20 points in 4 minutes to turn that game around. And then it was the 2 long touchdown drives against Penn State in that delirious whiteout situation.
That's the thing. When you do it in that kind of setting, then you get into this kind of setting, you're down 14-3. You're in that locker room, you're Dwayne Haskins, you're looking at your guys, and you're saying, guys, we've been here. Let's start fast to start this second half. And if you're Purdue, you're thinking, hey, guys, let's try to get them off the field on this first drive. So you're right, this is a big opening drive.
Play action. Haskins has time and delivers downfield. And it's Mack slipping a tackle. Austin Mack inside the 40 before Major stopped him.
They were into the first half. I talked about Ohio State. Sheffield not doing a good job at jamming the receiver. When you have a high safety like that, you have to jam the receiver to give the safety a chance to come over. This time, it's Purdue not doing the good job of jamming Mack at the line of scrimmage. Gave him a chance to slip behind a corner and had room.
Haskins collects the low snap and fires down at Dixon over the head and incomplete.
Well, I think that might have gone right through his hands. Ball is thrown to the outside shoulder. He had a lot of room to work with to the field. He gets behind Blackman and, yeah, right off of the 2 hands of Johnny Dixon. Now, granted, that's a tough catch, but Dwayne Haskins putting that ball where his receiver has room to work to be able to separate and pull away from the corner, Antonio Blackman. Good throw.
Haskins from the pocket on 2nd and 10. Good protection. And has the tight end Farrell wide open. He's still driving those legs, and he's out inside the 25. Another first down.
Tell you what, it's a great effort. Those are the kind of plays that move the sticks and keep the drive alive. And now you can go tempo to try to get Purdue's defense a little confused, and they are.
They were not even lined up at the snap. And now on the edge, barreling inside the 10-yard line is Campbell.
Go back to that play by Luke Farrell. They got it the first down. That ignites the offense to go with the up-tempo approach. Purdue's looking around to get the call. They're not aligned. Ball is out quick to the fleet-footed and quick receiver Paris Campbell. Almost got it to the end zone.
And now they flip it short. Campbell tries to weave his way. He'll be dropped right there. Excellent play by Major. 2nd and goal.
So clearly the message from Urban Meyer at halftime to his staff and his players on this opening drive to Dwayne Haskins. Hey, guys, we're going to go down and we're going to score, and I want you to crank up this tempo to get Purdue on their heels. Don't let them be the aggressor. We need to be the aggressor.
Haskins in the flat. And Weber's going to be knocked down right there. Good play by Thieneman, the safety. Now it's 3rd and goal.
Boy, Jacob Thieneman read that play from the very beginning. Did not hesitate. And because he was able to get out there to get a hand on Weber, it prevented Weber from picking up and accelerating through the rest of that defense. Nice job by Thieneman, that 41.
Can they protect Haskins? Can he make a play? Ohio State struggled, as you said, both times down here in the red zone so far. And they throw a jump ball to Victor. Tried to make a one-handed catch. They're trying to pick on Blackman, and that has not worked. And the Boilermakers make another stand.
Another stand. Let's see what Urban Meyer does. 3rd time they've been down in the red zone. 3rd time they're unable to come away with a touchdown. Yeah, he's going because of the size of Victor at 6'4". It's a fade that they think they can win over Blackman, who's still a big corner at 6 feet tall. But Urban Meyer frustrated because he thought that was the matchup that could give him the touchdown.
There's a little jersey grab there. They didn't call it. Not enough on Blackman. Hallbeals missed from 33, this from 23, and he knocks it through. But 3 trips for Ohio State near the goal line. Produce only 2 field goals. Lead is still 8. Next week, Saturday Night Football, presented by Walmart. It'll be in Stillwater, Oklahoma. Big 12 battle between the Texas Longhorns. Turned their season around after the early loss to Big 10 team Maryland, taking on Oklahoma State, 8 o'clock Eastern on ABC.
Sam Ellinger dealing with a shoulder. Hopefully he'll be back and be okay. Otherwise, Shane Buechele will get a chance to play.
So it's a kickoff into the wind that is returnable for Moore at the 10. Rondale Moore knocked down. Good job by the coverage team to the 27. So here comes David Blau. You mentioned a slow start, but he got it going.
Yeah, and look at the difference between Ohio State rushing 4. That's where he's had his numbers. 10 of 14, 186 yards and 2 touchdowns versus the blitz. Now, Greg Schiano at times was dialing up that blitz and having some success. See what he does in the second half, down 8, needing to get the ball back to Dwayne Haskins. If he goes aggressive, blitzes, has success, or it goes with just hoping the 4 can get after the quarterback and pressure him.
DJ Knox running left. Blau's a really interesting character. We've both been so impressed by his maturity. He's a guy that is both a gifted, perhaps future minister, but also he's a card shark. He's great at card tricks. He told me he's an excellent blackjack player, a total system player.
Really?
He can count cards in a 6-deck shoe. He's the kind of guy that a casino would have their eye on.
Wow, I didn't realize that.
Excellent poker player.
Look at you getting the tids when I'm out in Pullman. That's pretty good.
Well, it's a poker match now between Schiano and the defense and Brom's offense. And a play action, Blau's going to make a long throw. It's complete. Retreating and moving away from the first down marker was Moore.
Yeah, that little jump cut cost him a couple yards and sets up now, instead of maybe 3rd and 1, now a 3rd and a little bit of longer 2. Again, looking for more. We keep talking about Ohio State being, are they going to be aggressive? You heard, which I thought was great, Jeff Brom with Maria Taylor walking off saying, fake field goal, you got to be aggressive. This is the mindset we knew we had to have coming in. I want to see how that mindset continues with an 8-point lead in the second half.
Boilermakers is 1 of 7 on 3rd down. And 3rd and 2, Blau thinking about a throw, and it's a strike across the middle and a first down out near midfield. You'd think Moore is a predictable target, but he's so tough to stop.
He really is. What I love here is the tight end working across, takes this linebacker with him, and then look at the opening for Moore. Great design to create that opening right in the middle, and it's a mismatch with the quickness of Moore against Malik Harrison, 39. He moves right, Moore cuts underneath. But give Jeff Brom the assist there for using the tight end to take Pete Werner out of the matchup.
Malik Harrison's been battling an injury. That's a tough matchup for any linebacker. And now it's a downfield shot as Blau loops it on the far side, but over the head and out of bounds. Hopkins was well covered by Sheffield anyway.
The first few plays here, Ohio State not bringing the blitz. We just showed you the graphic, how they had success when they did blitz him. That time they did bring both the linebackers in the inside, trying to affect Blau, trying to get him off of his spot, make him feel the heat.
Haven't seen Blau as a runner or a scrambler tonight, but he can hurt defenses that way as well. 4-man rush. Quick throw, incomplete, hard hit. Sparks had the ball knocked out of his hands there by Pryor.
Boy, Chris, this time, we just showed you how they opened up the middle. This time, Pryor is back here, and instead of dropping, he sinks because they've had some success throwing that underneath route. See how he comes down? It's kind of like in a robber position, expecting one of those crossers, and takes it away.
Moore, the slot to the left on this 3rd down play. They need 10.
Ohio State press man across the board showing blitz. Let's see if they're showing it and dropping, or they bring it.
And they throw it underneath. Hopkins, the tight end, makes the catch. Not first down yardage. But it's Herdman, excuse me, the other tight end, the big physical guy. It's 4th and 3 now. Up 11. Is Brom going to gamble here? No, here comes the punt team.
Gets off the field. They brought a little bit of a late blitz.
You never know with this guy, though.
No, you don't.
I mean, how many coaches would a field goal, a chip shot to go up 7? He's thinking, no, we're thinking touchdown down there.
Absolutely.
And this man, a tough run, was able to convert as the holder. Now Schopper will again try to pin Ohio State deep. Kicks it high with backspin, and they ran into him.
He didn't run into him. He did a backflip into him, like a cartwheel into the. I don't know what happened here, except indecision.
Kicker, defense number 53, 15-yard penalty, automatic first
And that's Davon Hamilton.
Devon Hamilton here does a cartwheel. I can't believe what he just saw. Defensive tackle doing a cartwheel into the punter.
It's a 300-pounder. It's been a physical night for Schopper as a punter and a holder. And boy, you look at that, you think he's lucky to escape injury.
Yeah. The holder, of course, where he had the big run, he got hit pretty hard. This time, Hamilton, who's 310 pounds, mental error for Ohio State, gives Purdue really good field position now and a first down.
9th penalty for Ohio State, puts the ball to 31. While rolling out and delivers. And the catch is made by Jackson Anthrop, and the man who was the slot receiver a year ago before Moore arrived makes a play.
Mix up in coverage. Nobody on him. They just roll out to the right, and Blau says, boy, this is like a warm-up drill. This is against air. Blown coverage by Ohio State, miscommunication, and Blau sees it and takes advantage.
Now Blau rolls to the left and fires to the end zone, again way over the head of Terry Wright.
Well, Ohio State down 8 on the road. Mental errors, costly penalties, really hurting this team. At times self-destructing.
So see if Purdue, again 2 for 2 with touchdowns in the red zone so far, can make it 3 for 3. 2nd and 10.
Shot for Rondale Moore in motion here.
Yep, he's going to motion. Some confusion. Play clock is winding down. Is he going to get lined up? He does. Blau's rolling the other direction, looks to throw back. And underneath, catch made. Muscling down to the 1-yard line is Hopkins. First and goal, Purdue.
Another misalignment and a miscue by Ohio State in coverage. The progressive pylon cam shows that he's of the kind. A well-designed play with a roll on a bootleg. Rondale Moore actually in that direction. The defense just completely misses on Hopkins on a delay going the other direction. Blau patiently waits for the play to develop and it makes a great throw.
Knox is the back. I formation, 2 tight ends. Old-time Big Ten football. Touchdown, Purdue! There is a big surprise brewing in West Lafayette. The mental mistake, the personal prolongs the drive, and Purdue is 3 feet with touch in the red zone. 73 yards in 10 plays. Well, they've done it before, as he pointed out, but this is going to be a serious test. Myers, undefeated 7-0 Ohio State team. Knox still in. Boilermakers up 15.
This is the face of a man watching college football on an 82-inch Samsung QLED TV. He's not watching his team. He doesn't even have a team. He's more of a
Saturday Night Football by Walmart on ABC. Brought to you by Samsung QD TV, the official TV of ESPN.
Strong tradition of astronauts here at Purdue. Waxing Gibbous Moon, West Lafayette. And the Boilermakers with a 5-point lead, way quarter. 2 touchdown underdogs kept Ohio State out of zone so far. Dixon back deep, and although the wind has died down, there haven't been any kick returns this direction. Spencer drives it, ends on one more time. So another look at the touchdown. They were so fixated on Moore.
Yeah, right before the touchdown. This is a big play. Knox is going to fake and go here, which is going to draw backer to go with him. Then he's going to roll this way. When he rolls, you'll see Barronbrook Knox. And the confusion is right here. The tight on a delay. Harrison should have been able to run with him. Everybody's in man-to-man. Malik Harrison loses the tight end who was blocking and chipping on Chase Young. Eventually released. Nobody picks him up. That was a huge play executed and designed by Brom.
Knox muscled it in from tight. And Ohio State, which threw in all 10 plays of its previous drive, back to work now, down by 15. Haskins takes a field shot, and a flag comes in. Trying to catch up was major, obvious call.
And so often on the deep ball, the underthrown deep ball, the receiver tries to get back to the football, and the corner, who's out of phase, is running as fast as he can to catch up to the receiver, never sees the ball, never back to the easy call, as you said, Schul.
Out of college, deep to take that penalty, though, much better than giving up a 40, 50-yard play.
Yeah. See, this is where you keep, we showed our Heisman moment about, you know, you have Tua and you have Haskins and you have Kyler Murray. This is where, if you want to be in that discussion, you're down 21-6, 8.5 to go in the third quarter. This is where Dwayne Haskins typically steps up.
Well, he certainly did at Penn State in those two drives when they were down 12.
Well, he has become somebody that the Ohio State coaches trust in these situations. And I think sometimes something that doesn't get talked about enough are the wide receivers, the group of wide receivers that he has to throw to. Many of these guys, seniors, and a couple of juniors who have played a lot of football.
Continues to be a struggle running the ball. Weber and Dobbins combined about 2.5 yards per carry. Haskins is going to throw. Involved Luke Farrell, the tight end, a few times. That's a nice gain. Third down and shoot.
Major, who we keep bragging about making tackles that time against a bigger tight end. Luke Farrell at 6'6", 250. May have hurt himself trying to make that.
Now, it's a lot of dots here, but let's explain. This is the pattern for Haskins coming into this game. The first thing to notice is the aqua dots are the interceptions, and there's very few of them. Now, look downfield beyond 20, Kirk. All the yellow dots, those are the touchdowns. 5 long touchdowns played. What you notice is the cluster, all those passes behind the line, and then 0 to 10.
And 10 yards and underneath. And I think a big part of what that is, we talked about in the open, is they lull you to sleep with a lot of the short, quick throws, and then they open it up and try to go downfield. Tonight's start, it's very different because he hasn't had the success getting the ball yet down the field. This is tonight's, and the yellows are the completions. See a lot of the short throws to the right, nothing downfield, especially beyond 15, 20 yards. They've not been able to have any success at all.
Major's able to walk off. It's important that he not be lost for the game. He's at a career high 12 tackles already tonight. Take a break.
With Hulu, tailgating's never been better. Unlike the early days when all you had was a radio. But through the years, the experience better. And now, Hulu's completely changed the game. Because you don't have to choose between tailgating or football live on ESPN. You can do both. No cable required. Hulu makes it so easy, the game will never be the same.
Important play, 3rd and 3 for Ohio State.
3 years and only 2 defenders. Okay, now they jump out of it.
Now he'll motion. Receivers were to the left. Hill's got it. A crease, and K.J. Hill has a first down, cuts it back into Purdue territory.
Great block by Terry McLaurin, who that's what he's known for, as an outstanding blocker. The tight end, Luke Farrell, also gave K.J. Hill enough room, and here Ohio State's going back to that up-tempo approach.
Blackman runs on late, barely gets set before the snap, and it's Dobbins with a short gain ahead. Good to see that the corner has had a fine evening. He's back out there.
Yeah, he's been huge for them, and they don't have a lot of depth at that position. Purdue a little confused right now with his tempo. You can see they're late to get ready.
Front pressure, Haskins, and that turned around. Comes a flag. He grabbed. That was a senseless penalty because no chance of a completion there.
It looked like he may have grabbed onto his jersey as Farrell was trying to pull away on the route.
But it was a miscommunication because Haskins was throwing it much shorter than the tight end was running.
Yep. Interesting to Earl with one-on-one matchups against Mosley, the safety, because of the size.
It's uncatchable, and they picked the flag up.
Yeah. They're a little tugged, but they decided that the ball wasn't catchable. You know, you got all these wide receivers, and they're isolated one-on-one, and he's dialing up the big man Farrell, who's checking out now, instead of going to one of these wide receivers.
Farrell, who had 5 catches coming into this.
If Purdue wants to pressure Haskins, get there with, they've got to bring either a linebacker or safety.
They bring 5. Haskins and delivers a strike for a first down at the line. Jim and Victor.
Big here. Watch the time. Watch his head. To the middle, to the outside. He worked his first, his second, and then his third option. And it had everything to do with the protection by that offensive line to give him that chance to eventually come back to Victor.
Haskins with his 40th pass attempt tonight, loops into Victor again. Another play. Buckeyes are back, threatening inside.
Shoulder shimmy to freeze the safety and gave him just enough room to throw the ball side to Victor. Victor gets behind the corner, but Mosley, 27, who knocks him out of bounds, froze because Haskins gave him a little shoulder to keep him in the middle of the field.
First and goal again. Can Ohio State finally find the end zone? Dobbins cuts it back and plows down to the 3. Interesting, we spotted with Austin Mack out being looked at by the team doctor, a conversation with Victor by Urban Meyer before he made those couple of plays. Almost like we're going to look for you. It's time to step up, big fella.
And he did against TCU, or rather against Penn State late in the game. Gave Ohio State a chance to eventually come back. And with Mack down, 9, who they've looked at and targeted in this area, one-on-one matchups on the fade to Blackman.
Second and goal. Dobbins breaks free, but will lose yardage. Lorenzo Neal got there quickly to move it backwards.
Quickly is a great word. Watch how he shoots through this gap and goes right by Jordan into that backfield. Keep in mind, he's 320 pounds. Puts his left arm out there, slows down Dobbins enough to let the defense rally to the ball. And here we go. Third in this area.
And Purdue keep them out of the end for tonight.
He's been going down here.
And Stop. Won't get there. Stopped at the 2. Is he going to go for it? Let's see. Meyer may have seen enough of the field goal tries.
Yeah, with 5 to go. And a 5 offensive line sideline. Purdue sat in zone. It was man-to-man linebacker staring at Haskins. When he took off the run, a lot of Purdue defenders there to take him away.
Big moment here. Purdue still trying to run defenders on. 4th and goal. Haskins, Hill, incomplete. Off his hands. Ohio State still in the end zone.
That's why coaches talk about red efficiency. I thought this snap looked, for a ball that's trying to come out fast, the snap kind of come up like a rainbow, slow, and I think it forced Haskins to try to hurry and get the ball out there quickly. See how the ball was almost end over end. It wasn't your typical tight spiral to get it out there, but I think the snap being slow affected Haskins in his to throw.
Good point, and Kirk, Antonio Black, if you look at the tape, every 14 is a we can pick on, we can exploit. He has come up tonight huge time and again.
Sure has.
But the Boilermakers, with that 15-point cushion, are backed up in their end zone, and Knox is wrestled down right at the line of scrimmage.
And I think that had everything to do with Urban Meyer's decision. Of course, he needs a touchdown. Worst case scenario, they get stopped, and now you're going to give Purdue the ball inside their own 2-yard line. He's taking his defense. Maybe they get a stop. Maybe try to make them punt from deep in their own territory and get the ball back to Haskins. That's why David Blau's got to come up with an answer here. We saw it earlier when they had the ball deep like this, and they had a big drive led to a touchdown.
They throw from the end zone. Moore slips 1 tackle, but Pryor did a job running down. The face mask.
Yeah, I think Isaiah Pryor's.
That's Mack.
Yeah, Mack heading to the sidelines. I think Isaiah Pryor may have grabbed the face mask there. Yeah, he's got tears in his eyes. Oh.
Yeah, they had the left shoe off, looking at the foot or the ankle, and he was in obvious discomfort.
No foul first. Player grabbed the shoulder pad.
Great.
Third down.
Interesting. Look at this because you could see his head move, and it's his hand up high, does stay down low. Boy, these officials are all over it.
They briefly hit the face mask, didn't grab.
Yeah, no, he cut chins and eventually went to the. They make a call, then they get together, and then they talk about it, and then they kind of clarify and come up with the right answer.
Moore to the right. Boilermakers need 6 to avoid punting in the red zone, and Blau's being chased, and he just has to throw it away. That's a veteran move because Draymond Jones was hot in his heels.
Draymond Jones has great speed, and with Nick Bosa now out for the rest of the year, Draymond Jones and Chase Young on these third downs have got to step up. You could see his catching. Blau got outside of the pocket and able to just throw that ball away, so it does get the ball after the 3 and out.
Here's Joe Schopper, who's had an eventful night, ran on the fake field goals. The holder for a first down was roughed by Ohio State. Last time he tried to punt it, set up a touchdown after prolonging the drive. This time he gets a low boot with the wind. It's a good punt, and it's going to be fielded at the 47. Hill shakes free. Jay Hill turns the corner and spins inside the 35. So late third quarter, down 15. Ohio State set up in Purdue territory. To Cassidy for an update.
Thanks, Chris. Dr. Pepper Championship Drive update. Number 5, LSU hosting Mississippi State. Nick Fitzgerald with one of his 3 picks on the day. LSU's defense dominated. It just went final. The Tigers win 19-3. Following game on ESPN, LeBron James making his regular season home debut, taking on good friends Chris Paul, Carmelo Anthony, and MVP James Harden. 10:30 ESPN, Chris.
LSU looking pretty stout. Don't they have a
Devin White with it? Devin White, the linebacker, with a targeting call. He'll miss first half of Alabama.
Haskins long shot off the fingertips of Victor. He tried to go to big number 9 again, and Tim Kaysen was in coverage.
And Tim Kaysen.
Chris.
LSU looking pretty stout. Don't they have a
Devin White with it? Devin White, the linebacker, with a targeting call. He'll miss first half of Alabama.
Haskins long shot off the fingertips of Victor. He tried to go to big number 9 again, and Tim Kaysen was in coverage.
And Tim Kaysen leverages him. Watch him eventually take Victor out of bounds. Ball is thrown out there, but it had everything to do with Kaysen using that arm bar to eventually get him to the sideline, where Victor cannot make a play on that football.
Got some backup corners in there. Dedrick Mackey, number 1, is a freshman. He's on the far side, matched up with Paris Campbell. Looking that way, almost intercepted. Thieneman jumped it, had his hands on the football.
Now, this is where the experience comes in for Thieneman. 3 eyes of the back, and that's what draws him eventually out into the flat. Haskins is staring it down. The corner blitz is there. That's what C41 trying to get out. He also sees Dwayne, because he felt that blitz, wants to get the ball thrown as quickly as he can, and almost a big interception there.
3rd and 10. Boilermakers showing some pressure. They bring it. It's under pressure. He had 0 time. Couldn't get it to Dixon.
I tell you something, man. You got to give Nick a lot of credit for this game plan that they have come up with. 3rd down, bring one more Ohio State can handle. Haskins has nothing to do but to get rid of the football. Nick Holt is dialing up a game plan tonight, doing a heck of a job. Who would have thought we'd be with 3:14 to go in the 3rd quarter and Ohio State would have 6 points?
This is defense that's been getting better and better. They throttled Illinois, but that's a struggling Illini offense. Tonight has been an unbelievable performance by this group. And the Buckeyes squander by far their best field position. Chrisman kicks it, and Moore makes a fair catch at the 10-yard line. 3:09 in the 3rd. Well, Curtis and the All-State bus here in West Lafayette. All the mayhem and a busy Saturday. What's your All-State mayhem moment today?
College football is mayhem, and Nebraska and Scott Frost, they finally get their first win over Minnesota. Martinez with a big throw here to Morgan for a touchdown, and Nebraska in Lincoln. That first win that just seemed every week like it would just avoid them, and finally with that big win. Congrats to Nebraska.
Meanwhile, in the Big Ten West, Northwestern goes to 4-1. Iowa, Wisconsin 3-1. Purdue trying to join them at 3-1 with this upset. And there's the handoff to Markel Jones. In the Michigan State, the 5-0. Buckeyes trying to stay with a share of with a win here tonight.
So now you have Blau. You still think they're going to be aggressive because that's their mentality, but things are going to change now. Now it's about working that clock a little bit. You've got a comfortable lead. You don't want to do anything stupid. You want to be smart with the football. But you don't want to just pull your horns in and be completely conservative. That's just not in their DNA.
No doubt. Blau throws, catch made, wrestled down short of the first down is Jared Sparks. That's a great point, Kirk, because whenever Brom in this offense has tried to be a little bit conservative, it hasn't worked. That was one of the reasons why on this field, Eastern Michigan came in here and won. Brom vowed not to do that again.
First 2 games of the year, being more conservative, they scored 23 points a game.
And Jones breaks free, first down, and much more. A crucial conversion before Fuller wrestles him down.
It's good vision, and you look at Markel Jones as a great compliment. You're going to see this design and then a cutback. Linebackers actually come out because they blitz. 20's on a blitz. Good vision, good compliment there to DJ Knox.
Interesting, Kirk. Instead of playing slow and milking that clock near the end of the third, Purdue using some tempo in this possession.
Trying to catch Ohio State off guard a little bit. Ended up actually costing them a few yards.
But it is an interesting challenge because the team that has gotten back to 3-3 by being very aggressive, very bold, now finds itself with a 15-point lead on 2 teams.
Like I said, those first 2 games where they were a little more conservative, and they also had a different quarterback in Elijah Miller. 23 in these last 4 games where they just said, what the heck, let's start taking chances with Blau. Nearly 40 points a game in these last 4.
Worked the play 5 on 2nd and long. Blau just fires it into the turf. There was nothing there. Tyreek Smith pressured him off the edge. See the first 3. That does include the game against Missouri when Blau threw for 572 and a loss.
And that's where they made the change. They had a little bit of a quarterback quandary when they broke camp because they had 2 guys that they felt could be starters. They ended up going with more of a passer in Sindelar the first couple weeks. And Blau is a veteran who was a starter here 2 years ago. Kind of settled into that spot in that Missouri game and has not looked back.
Moore's in the slot to the right. You're thinking maybe trick play here on 3rd and 13. Got 5 receivers out there. Got to hurry. Play clock at 1. Gets it off. And Blau underneath throw. Catch made. Fighting near first down yardage as Moore doesn't get there. It'll be 4th down.
You think it's just a quick little underneath throw to a guy, and it's no way they're going to pick up a first down, right? Well, with Rondale Moore, you hold on to your hat because after the catch, he is the receiver.
Offense is on the field, but he's not going to go for it here. Let's work the play down. Then punt it. Come on. Yeah, here goes the punt team now. I mean, there's bold and then there's reckless.
Right.
Chopper boots it, wind at his back, and Hill lets it land. This one's going to be a touchback. This week, Monday Night Football matchup. Saquon, Odell Beckham Jr. and the struggling Giants against Julio Jones and the Falcons in Atlanta. 8:15 Eastern on ESPN. Boy, Saquon had just a monster start. If you covered him in college, like him like we do, you appreciate the start that he's had, but it's been a tough go for the Giants so far this season.
Yeah, it really has. But how much fun is he to watch, and how much does he resonate? I have 4 boys at home, and their favorite player is quickly becoming Saquon Barkley. They love to watch him play. His style is easy to be attracted to.
Absolutely. And your favorite player, Odell Beckham Jr.
Oh, yeah. I love him as a guy. He's a little crazy sometimes, but I love him. You know what? Saquon, I made a comment during that I thought outside, go all the way back to Adrian Peterson. He's the most talented back coming out of college into the NFL. As his big one Monday.
Final play of the quarter. Maybe not, because it was a quick incompletion to K.J. Hill. And now Ohio's face a 9. And I know this is an accomplished team and a poised quarterback and all that stuff, but it's starting to get a little bit more urgent for Ohio State. Neal down on the field. One more play in this quarter, and then 15 more minutes, and they're down by 15 and still haven't been able to find the end zone.
The other thing is, can you think this year, when you've seen Dwayne Haskins look rushed the way he has tonight, I mean, he looks like, he's getting rid of the ball, or his feet are hurrying, and it's because of what Nick Holt is dialing up on defense. They're covering people. They're making him uncomfortable. Their whole plan this week, we've got to affect 7. What do to affect him? We'll get a quarter to go, but they're doing a heck of a job so far of it.
I'm just trying not to laugh because you got Darren Brown, Dave Kataya, and your son are all huddled together just off screen here as you're trying to break down the fourth quarter. All excellent stuff. I'm with you. But, no, I mean, this Purdue defense, it's hard to overstate what a performance this is. How clutch they've been backed up against their goal line as you see Neal walk off. I mean, there's no one in the planet, including the Purdue defensive players and coaches, who thought they could do this. Again, still a quarter to go, but this is a stunning job.
Yeah, through 3 quarters. I mean, this is about as well as you could have ever hoped if you were a Purdue fan and a fan of Nick Holt and this defense. You know, one thing about their defense, they've given up some yards, but the area where they've improved is third down defense and the red zone defense. That's why they only give up 23 points a game, which is pretty good considering the amount of yards that they've given up.
You talk about the change in the Ohio State offense with Haskins slinging the ball around, how dynamic, how dangerous it is. As he flips a short screen, Dobbins has a couple blockers, and he's wrestled down short of the marker. That was Marcus Bailey making a clutch tackle to keep the Buckeyes from moving the sticks. 15 minutes to go. The Boilermakers protecting a 15-point lead. Final period, West Lafayette coming up.
I'm the play-by-play announcer who's in your ear all game long. And the more praise I heap on your team, the more excited you get. Touchdown! Now, you don't hear the upstairs toilet overflowing, and I don't mean with confidence. You wanted a bowl season? You got a bowl season. And if I could show up on game day, imagine what could happen the rest of the week.
Set for the fourth quarter. Saturday Night Football on ABC, presented by Walmart. And Ohio State stopped short. 4th and 1 has the punt team out there. And Purdue will get the football and try to add to this lead or just chew on this clock.
4th down.
Moore, meanwhile, a dangerous returner, has yet to make a real big impact play this season with a long return, but he is extremely capable with every touch.
Yeah, we went to the break there, but you touched on it right as we went to the break. Marcus Bailey, who is out of Columbus, out of Hilliard-Davidson, what a big play, what a big night.
Yeah, he made a tackle that stopped Dobbins a yard short of the first down. And now Moore lets this ball bounce and will just get away from it wisely as they down it at the 24. Boilermakers with the football, up by 15. Tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock over on ESPN, Sunday NFL Countdown. Game will break down what's going to happen when the Patriots have the football against the Bears. Tom Brady against Khalil Mack and 20 other guys. Drew Brees mic'd up. And you got mossed. Look at the guys in college football who got embarrassed by big catches today. Purdue, final quarter, up 15 from their 24. Knox running left, and a powerful run out for about 4 or 5.
Purdue throwing for 316 yards tonight, and Blau has had a good night throwing. Obviously, Rondale Moore has been the most substantial part of this offense and what they're trying to do. See if they continue to try to find ways to get him the ball. He has 15 targets tonight on the night with 11 receptions.
Well, there's some confusion. Moore was in the game, then he jumped to the sideline, so that's going to be an infraction on the Boilermakers. They had 12 guys out there.
Illegal substitution. Offense, 12-minute formation. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
It was Moore was supposed to come out and realized it too late. Any little mistake like that just gets amplified when Purdue's trying to finish the job tonight. It'll put him back behind the sticks on second down and 11. Now he comes back in the game.
Well, this Purdue offensive line, we keep talking about all the skill, Chris, but they have done a great job at the line of scrimmage for the most part, controlling things, especially when they've had this lead, and get into a little bit more predictable play calling.
Blau gets protection, delivers a high throw off target, trying to find Terry Wright. It'll be 3rd and long, and it's one of those plays where the Ohio State Defense so capable of creating pressure, creating a takeaway if Blau's not careful.
And Blau had time to throw there, just to misfire as he tried to get the ball over to Terry Wright, the near sideline. And for Ohio State, the clock stops.
Buckeyes are giving a blitz look pre-snap.
Yeah, tight press man across the board there.
Moore in the slot to the right, matched up against Wade. Blau looks that direction, and even though Wade fell down and Moore was open, throw was high, but they hit the quarterback late. 2 flags come out after the throw.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense number 86. 15-yard penalty.
Another mental mistake, Kirk.
Couldn't quite get to them. There's Draymond Jones in the middle working through Shane Evans, and clearly so as soon as he hit him, he looked up. Wasn't that it was necessarily a dirty hit. It was just the fact it was so late. 2 flags coming in. There's Draymond Jones.
To your reaction, penalty, 86 yards now, Ohio State.
Yeah, I mean, it's
hurting themselves huge.
Yeah, very uncharacteristic. You wouldn't expect that from this team, ranked as high as they are in the country on the road. They knew they'd be in for a battle tonight.
It was roughing the punter that extended the drive. Purdue eventually scored. Now roughing the passer moves the ball to the 38. The Boilermakers can work more clock. It goes in motion. They flip it inside. It's a screen, but gobbled up Anthrop very quickly by Pryor. 1984, the last time they beat a top 2 team. It was Ohio State. They have not had a victory over a top 5 team since '99. Michigan State, when Breeze and company riddled Saban's defense. 0-7 against the last top 5 opponents. This is a long time coming if they can complete this upset. Play action. Blau looks to throw over the head of Moore. At time Wade was in tight coverage. It's 3rd and long again.
They continue to throw the ball, try to create that matchup that they like. Like I said, they've thrown the ball to Rondale Moore now 16 times. They've hit him 11. They obviously like the matchup against Wade. See if Ohio State gets off the field here on 3rd down. Remember the last 3rd down, it was an incompletion, roughing the quarterback. The showing blitz could be a disguise and drop more into zone coverage with those linebackers.
Zico's had a couple big catches tonight. He's far right. They haven't targeted him in a while. Blau rolls, had Zico open, didn't want him. Now fires over the middle, complete first down into Ohio State territory to Sparks, and he drags Buckeyes inside the 45.
You talked earlier about how he has feet, how he can get out of trouble. Here he just buys time. Look at all the Ohio State jerseys working to the sideline. There's 5 or 6 guys, and even though they would tell you in football 101, quarterback 101, not to get body, he found his man and had enough room there in that pocket to be able to him and protect himself and get down. So another down to conversion to work.
Don't you have to sometimes say, I know what the tech is. I
got this.
18-yard gain, and again, a new series of downs, a new chance to chew on clock and perhaps add to this lead. And the Boilermakers will take a timeout to solve any confusion of this first down play. It's getting late. West and company.
Will you act or feel different? Or will you just be you, without the constraints of a full-time job?
Saturday Night Football on ABC is presented by Walmart. Discover more ways to shop at Walmart today. In part by Pacific Life. Experience the power of Pacific. And Ford. Built Ford proud.
Got to have the ESPN Plus app with a stretch run in college football. Stream all the games. You can begin your free trial today. Just download the app. Visit ESPNplus.com. First down for Purdue after the timeout. All in Ohio State territory. Knox. About a yard. Not a great running game. Knox is a tough back. Markel Jones is a good change of pace back. But this is not necessarily Purdue's strength, trying to salt away a game with the running game.
I don't think with 12 minutes to go you're in that mode right now. I mean, I know you've got the 15-point lead and you obviously want to work the clock, but again, knowing Jeff Brom, I still think you're going to see their same approach. They're going to sprinkle in that run game, but they've got such confidence in Blau's decision making that I think you're still going to see the run with the pass.
2nd and 9. Pump fake and a low throw. Pressure got there. The timing of the play was messed up by Malik Harrison.
Malik Harrison, they brought pressure, trying to set up a screen off to the left, and because of the pressure by Harrison, affected that timing, could not get the ball. Once again, thrown to Rondale Moore. You see 4 there. He's got a couple blockers out in front of him. Yep. Well, they were able to come in free. Those linemen were trying to get out to the perimeter to try to create a convoy there for Moore, but Harrison got in there. This another big 3rd and long. That last time they showed this press look and linebackers up, the last 3rd down, then dropped out of it and played zone, and they fooled Blau, but he scrambled.
More to the left. It's a quick handoff, and bursting up the middle is Knox. Dexter Phillip Knox, touchdown! Boilers up by 3 scores now. What a call. Everybody thinking pass.
What a call.
First 42 yards.
Tyler is fired up. What a call by Jeff Brom. And Chris, it was a great call for the first down. But the linebackers took themselves out of the play completely and watched the run support by Isaiah Pryor, who doesn't even see the back run by him. Doesn't even see him.
Knox, 2 touchdown runs in the second half. Brom teamed up 22. A Purdue football team that stood at 0-3, including a loss to Eastern Michigan in September, poised for a landmark upset. 28-6 is the lead inside of 12 minutes. Dixon fields it at the 5. And Johnny Dixon tries to get the corner and will now be knocked down at the 30-yard line. This week's college football rankings brought to you by Northwestern Mutual. The AP poll, Alabama pummeled their rival. LSU, you saw the win. They have a bye before they take on the Crimson Tide. Yep. Michigan, a feisty game by a couple touchdowns in East Lansing.
Gotta believe if this score holds up, be interesting to see how LSU, who continues to be ranked team after ranked team, where they end up moving and if they end up going up and above Notre Dame.
UCF got their 20th consecutive victory. Ohio State has the second longest win streak in the country after UCF. Almost intercepted, and Haskins off target. Smiley got a hand on it.
Well, Smiley held up there, did a really good job in man coverage. KJ Hill, a little bit of a wheel route, kind of a rub here, but look at 29 battling. I think KJ Hill expected to separate, but Smiley held on there tight.
We're talking, Kirk, about the explosiveness of this new look Ohio State offense. The flip side is down in the red zone when you had J.T. Barrett with quarterback power running it in. It looked so easy at times. Hill with the catch trying to get to the sideline is shoved out. And with this different look, it's been so much more difficult to execute down there today.
Yeah, it's very different. Those red zone trips have really cost him tonight. It was one of the few times we've seen an Ohio State receiver running free, especially here in this second half without tight coverage on him.
And the other component that Barrett brought was the leadership in moments like this.
Leadership, intangibles, toughness. Could always count on him these last 3 or 4 years.
Now it's Haskins who has to deliver. Steps up and fires to Victor, but it's way over his head. We've seen more inaccurate throws tonight than we have perhaps in all the other games combined.
I think it has everything to do with what Nick Holt has done. The players have to execute the plan, but Nick Holt has mixed up his looks and kept Dwayne Haskins off balance. And right there was a great example. It wasn't just an overthrow. He was confused with the coverage and ended up throwing the ball over the top of the receiver.
Haskins fires underneath, but Jalen Harris is a new receiver in the game. The first time was going deep.
You know, for an offense that really at this point in the season, they have relied on the passing game. And again tonight, 47 yards rushing, 315 yards passing. They're one-dimensional offense. That's what, if you look at Urban Meyer on the sidelines, you see that face of anguish, disgust, frustration. It's because this is uncharted waters, this style of offense. And when you're not hitting your passes, it's like being a three-point team in basketball. You're not hitting the threes, what do you go to?
Ohio State is going to be, they run a receiver off very late, so they made a substitution, so they have to hold it to see if Purdue wants to make one. But now the play clock is winding down. Haskins gets it away to Weber, and he's dragged down at the 47-yard line by Bailey. And it's 4th down. Bailey makes another tackle to prevent Ohio State first down tonight.
And there's a guy from Columbus, Ohio, who is not offered by Ohio State. Has had an emotional week as far as preparing and getting ready to take on his home school, and has delivered for this defense, not just making plays, but providing leadership and inspiration.
Yeah, this could be it. It's 4th and 5 in a 22-point game, and Haskins delivers. Weber, catch. First down at the 40.
Boy, he's almost stepped downfield to throw the ball to Terry McLaurin, and at the last second, he dumps it to Weber, who just is able to beat Bailey to that first down marker.
That's a good percentage decision, though. They needed that first down.
Yeah. Now I wouldn't be surprised if he takes a shot up top, one-on-one to Johnny Dixon. No safety behind him.
Total zero coverage over there, but Haskins is looking short, delivers into traffic, and it's Victor who makes a catch at the 33.
That was a lot of work for a 7-8 yard gain. Good effort there by Benjamin Victor, who just continues to get better and better as a wide receiver, but he's having to work away from Tim Kaysen.
Protection. There's the downfield shot. End zone touchdown, Johnny Dixon. And the Buckeyes finally reach the end zone and stay in this game.
We just talked about them taking that shot without a safety behind, and that's the speedster. Johnny Dixon's a vertical threat. He has the ability to get behind you. You saw because of KJ Hill, you see how Antonio Blackman caught in the middle there, hesitated just a bit, and gave Johnny Dixon with his speed enough room to get behind him.
So into the 4th quarter, but find Ohio State finds the end zone. They need 3 touchdowns and a 2-point conversion. You've thrown in there somewhere. They kick the point. The lead is 15 again. 9:36 to play. But tomorrow, the Formula One circuit in Texas, the U.S. Grand Prix. It's on ABC. You know, Lewis Hamilton got 4 races to go. He's trying to clinch his 5th championship. Sebastian Vettel way behind. Your big Kimi Räikkönen fan. He's sitting there at 4th. But Lewis Hamilton, an incredible season once again for the Brit superstar, trying to wrap things up tomorrow in Austin, Texas.
Oh, come on, Lewis. Get it done, man. Finish it.
With the Boilermaker fans a little more uneasy now that Ohio State marched down there. Actually didn't march. They raced down there. 71 yards in 2 minutes and 3 seconds. Cut the lead to 15. So now Blau back to work. The Pacific Life game summary. This graduate from the Dallas area who was attracted to Purdue by the quarterback tradition here. 24 of 42. Haskins, by the way, has set an Ohio State single game record for attempts and completions. He owned a share of it at 33 each of the last 2 games. 37 completions tonight.
I think for a lot of Ohio State fans, you see 37 to 54. It's hard to imagine Ohio State running that style of offense, but that's where they are. He's had a great year throwing, and Ohio State can't run the ball. So you become a one-dimensional offense, and you rely on Haskins and the receivers.
You have more pass attempts than rushing yards, Ohio State does tonight. And on the end around, here comes Moore. Moore still running and runs backwards. He's right near the marker. He had gained sufficient yardage and kind of moved back. I think it's still going to be a first down at the 35.
Forward progress there gives him the first down. If you're Ohio State, right, you're defending this offense, and they're not just going to, again, pull their horns in, run the ball, be conservative. They're going to try to still attack and be creative how they do it. You probably want to pay extra attention to 4. Like 4 and 1 are the two guys that can potentially keep drives alive, hit you for a big play. You've got to be able to put your best people on that quickness and on the acceleration that Knox and Moore both have.
Knox runs really, really hard. If you haven't seen this guy run before, he's giving you a show out. Purdue fans just love the way he plays football.
Chris, watch the 3 linebackers who need to make plays against the run, how they just get caught up in the wash. They're nowhere to be seen in this defense. They're coming downhill. They get caught up with the linemen. They're not scraping. They're not making plays. The safeties and the linebackers and run support have really hurt Ohio State in the last few weeks.
And 2nd and 1. Chance for another fresh set of downs, work on more clock. They'll snap this ball with just about 8 minutes to play in the game. Moore in motion. They fake it to him. Knox has a first down.
So even though you're running the ball, there's still some eye candy. They're still running jet motion. They're doing things to affect the communication and affect the defense, and their eyes just, you see 4 flying in motion running a 4-4. Your linebacker or safety, you're paying attention to that, and they're using that almost as a decoy to then just run a simple run up the middle with DJ Knox.
Now this offense will be very methodical, looking to the sidelines for Jeff Brom's signal. Play clock down inside of 10. Blau under center. Jet sweep. Moore has got it. He's got the corner. Stop and go. Nope, he stepped out of bounds. Actually, he slammed on the brakes and then tried to accelerate, kind of one of his patented moves out of the 40, but another first down.
We just talked about jet sweep. Watch the Ohio State defense. Draymond Jones, he doesn't know where the ball is. They seal the edge with some nice blocks. They're pulling the left tackle around to pick up another block, Swingler, and there's big yards. What did we just talk about? 4 and 1. Chances are going to have their hands on the ball.
Got it to him twice as a ball carrier in this drive. Moore has caught 11 passes for 127. They fake it to him. Now Knox cuts back. Knox in the clear. Foot race. Touchdown Purdue. And the hat trick for Knox. Third second half touchdown for Purdue. And a PAT to make the lead 22 again with 6:46 to play. Major upset brewing in the Big Ten tonight.
For some reason, Ohio State has decided often this times to walk their linebackers up. Here's the jet sweep, which affects the safety. And then this linebacker, Warner, ends up getting blocked by the center. Watch the linebackers. They have no chance up tight, close to the line of scrimmage. The safeties and run support are lost. They're so concerned about the jet sweep that they forget about Knox up the middle. Hits a crease. See ya to the end zone.
We think about Purdue being a pass offense. They're 7th in the country, and they've exceeded their average tonight, but the running game has been enormous, especially here in the second half. Dixon wrestled down across the 30, and 3 touchdowns for DJ Knox. Back to Cassidy for another update.
Chris, it's looking like Coach Corso's headgear pick today was spot on. Gardner Minshew to Desmond Patton puts the Cougars up 34-20 with about 3 to play. Back to you.
All right, Cassidy, it's going to be one of the all-time nights in the Palouse with game day there. They beat the Ducks, and Corso, he's off the schneid.
Yeah, he had lost 4 in a row. That was a big deal. He got to win.
Well, very few pick this. And Ohio State once again down 3 touchdowns and a 2-point conversion inside of 7 minutes. Haskins delivers far side. McLaurin knocked down after a short gain out of. He's a tremendous downfield thrower. They've got deep threats. They're going to have to create some magic right now.
Well, last time they had the football, they scored in 2 minutes and 3 seconds, and obviously they're looking for a big play. Purdue trying to defend that, playing a Tampa 2 defense.
Snap dropped. Haskins picks it up and slings it short. Another catch by Farrell, and he's knocked down near the marker, but they spot it just short, so it'll be 3rd down.
Nick Holt is just, he's more than willing to give up yards. See, he's trying to get this 1st down, stretches it, comes up just short.
Weber now runs for a 1st down, spins free, cannot escape at tackle, but they do move the sticks. Inside of 6 minutes to play.
Nick Holt's keeping 2 safeties high, trying to prevent anything from being thrown downfield, willing to give up some yards and some passes underneath. It's all about the clock for Nick Holt right now.
Haskins, a long throw, and it's dropped. Victor took a peek downfield and didn't collect the football. What an amazing night developing here in West Lafayette for a football team that has not had this kind of a victory in a long time. Still more work to do. They're chanting overrated at the Ohio State team. But the Buckeyes capable of creating big play magic across the middle. A catch is made by Victor inside the 40. Clock will stop briefly.
Again, they're going to give up some yards. They're going to give up some plays, but they're willing to do that as long as it's in front of them. Ohio State's only chance really at a big play would be trying to split those safeties down the middle of the field with a receiver in the slot.
You bring pressure. Haskins throws under pressure, delivers downfield, overthrown. Once again, able to hurry the and knock him down. Thieneman blitz.
So bring Bailey. They'll tell you their line this year is not the most athletic. They're grinders. The only way they typically get pressure is when they bring Bailey or Thieneman, the linebacker or the safety. They mix that look in tonight very effectively.
Haskins rolls. Pump fake and flips a high pass. McLaurin makes the catch along the sidelines there. It'll be 3rd down again. Ohio State needs urgency here. Clock running. Taking a while to check out the sideline to get play call, to get things lined up.
Nope. Didn't get out of bounds.
Haskins on 3rd and 5 surveys the field, and they pick up the 1st down. Nope, dropped. Hill dropped it. It's 4th down. And this is the ball game coming up suddenly. 4th and 5. And Urban Meyer's team, to keep any hope alive, needs this one.
You can bet that they're going to bring Marcus Bailey up the middle here at 21.
They do bring pressure. He gets it out quickly. Caught. McLaurin. Touchdown. Ohio State converts on 4th down and scores the touchdown. Well, they gambled by bringing pressure and paid for it.
Great recognition by Haskins. He sees the safeties down. He knows he has one-on-one. Goes to that matchup with McLaurin against Antonio Blackman, and McLaurin gets the separation. He goes right away, knows that blitz is coming, gets the ball out, just flips it with his wrist, and leads McLaurin, as I said, who gets out of the way and gets that separation from Antonio Blackman.
34-yard touchdown in a night when Haskins has broken Ohio State single-game records for completions and attempts. The lead is 15 again.
Nothing says fall like a homecoming football game, so let's promote our fall travel deal on Choice.
It's a second long but quick touchdown drive for Ohio State in this 4th quarter. 2:06 to move it 70 yards in 9 plays. The problem is that Purdue has continued to not just chew clock, but add to the lead.
Ohio State over the years, when they have gone on the road against the Big Ten teams, this is coming into tonight. Could see a lot of success against some big names, Michigan and Michigan State, even Penn State 5-2. Only team that they've struggled with and have a losing record with is Purdue here in West Lafayette. When they go on the road, they're 3-4.
Onside kick. Mobile and 4 guys to one side. Boilermakers with that hands team. Got a whole bunch of receivers for Ohio State. Victor, Dixon, Campbell, McLaurin up there in the top of the formation. They kick it way. They don't get the hop they need, and the Boilermakers recover it. And Marcus Bailey from Columbus there to gobble it up. 4:39 to play.
Well, he's had a big night tonight, and now he comes up on the hands team. 21. When was the last time you saw a 6'1", 240-pound linebacker on the hands team?
Good point.
I haven't seen that happen very often, but he acts like he's been there his whole life. No problem. By the way, went to a great high school, great football program in the Columbus area, Hilliard-Davidson. Hard-nosed program.
And they produce a very smart, savvy, tough football player. And this would be the most satisfying win of his life, big by far. Knox pressured and spun down for a loss at midfield by Warner.
Ohio State with those 3 timeouts, they're all in, trying to get a 3-and-out. Going to use their 3 timeouts and try to get the ball back to Haskins.
We expect a shootout next week in Stillwater, 8 o'clock Eastern time here on ABC, also streaming live on the ESPN app. Walmart presents Saturday Night Football, and it'll be the Longhorns and the Pokes. Best chance to win the Big 12 title. Oklahoma, big win over TCU today. Texas, even though they beat him, given a 28% chance. Of course, you got to play Big 12 championship game. Could be a rematch there.
Yeah. Don't count Oklahoma out. They still can score a lot of points.
So Purdue, behind the sticks, has Moore in the backfield. Now they motion him out on 2nd and 13. Blau just rolling out, following blockers. Hasn't done much designed running tonight. A very safe call. And Ohio State will spend a 2nd timeout here.
Looks like Ohio State may have a player down. This Ohio State team came in with a lot of injuries, guys playing with some pain. Looks like Okuda, the corner, who's down.
As Purdue tries to finish off a tremendously satisfying win, we think obviously about Tyler Trent, the most dedicated, passionate, tough-minded Purdue fan out there, and a young man who's battled bone cancer for 3 times. The most recent prognosis, very grim, Kirk, and as you know, he had one wish as he makes his way toward the Purdue locker room, and that was for Purdue to upset Ohio State and for him to be here to see it. He's a young man whose courage has inspired this team, this coaching staff. Tyler Strong, there are banners of support for him in this stadium tonight. And Purdue has played with the kind of resolve and toughness that he would hope for, Kirk. And this is the kind of thing that if they can complete this upset, you could write screenplays. You could make movies about this.
Yeah, such a incredibly inspirational story. And, you know, he is in hospice at home and wanted so desperately to be able to come here and be a part of this night. This is something he had been looking for and given him a lot of motivation.
And he had told Tom Rinaldi earlier how things were for him just 24 hours ago. Very, very sick. But on game day, on this Saturday, on this day he'd circled, he found the toughness and the resolve and the strength to be here tonight. Pretty chipper and a smart football mind, and he gave good analysis. He knew what it would take to get this job done for Purdue. Ethan, his brother, is pushing him toward that locker room. That's to the right up in the corner there, and that big Boilermaker drum. Purdue, as the clock is running now, trying to nurse this lead, trying to complete this big upset. 3rd and 7. They work the play clock all the way down. It's Moore in motion. They get it to him. Moore in space. A burst of speed. A first down for Purdue. He's still going. Moore cuts back. Touchdown. And every Boilermaker on this team in the stands, the alumni, they will all say, Tyler, this one is for you. What a night in West Lafayette. He's special.
He's one of the more electrifying players in the country. Goes in motion. Sean Wade runs with him. The tight end kind of hooks Wade. But this is what you got to love. This kid squats 600 pounds. Pryor has him. There's 5 Ohio State white jerseys right around just kind of looking at him, thinking he's down. But with this kid's leg drive and his heart, you better make sure he's on the ground. 1 missed tackle. Here's 2 missed tackles. 2 or 3 other guys, as I said, watching him. And this kid's not just a jitterbug with speed and quickness. You put him under, like I said, under a squat rack with 600 pounds and 175 pounds himself. That's rare. You just don't hear about guys like that.
You don't. 12 catches, 170 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's run it a couple times. He came here to Purdue because he felt like he could make a difference right away.
And the relationship with Jeff Brom and Trinity High School there in Louisville,
no doubt,
has a lot to do with why he's in West Lafayette.
And over the years, Purdue teams, when given no chance, have occasionally stepped up. They've gotten Ohio State a few times, as we pointed out. But this night in October will live forever in the Boilermaker history books. This one is right up there with any of them. And the kickoff needs to be fielded. It's going to be picked up finally by Dixon at the 2. Dancing around, has to fight just to avoid a safety. Wow.
That play is kind of symbolic of the night for Ohio State. Johnny Dixon just kind of watching the ball, assuming that it was going to be dead. Ball didn't roll into the end zone. He had to field the ball, and now it's live, and now he's just trying to extend it to get it out of the goal line.
He barely did before the knee went down.
Yeah. Going back to Rondale Moore, 12 receptions, 170 yards against Ohio State's defense. And Blau ends up with 378 yards through the air.
He's the freshman of the year in college football, folks. I'm just going to make sure that Dixon did get the football out, broke the plane before his knee went down. Looked to us like he did. But that mistake, letting it roll dead before grabbing it finally at the 1, has backed the Buckeyes up. It's again 22 points down. It's just double checked. Yeah, I think it got out there before the knee. But look, there's so many heroes in this Purdue victory. You talked a lot about the defense and the way they have rallied behind Nick Holt's game plan tonight. This was a defense that has struggled a lot against different offenses, but they have been enormous in this game. And Tom Rinaldi has caught up with Tyler Trent.
Tyler, how do you explain it?
Unexplainable. That's Boilermaker spirit right there.
When you were dreaming of trying to get here, fighting through what you've been through over the last weeks, how did you envision this night playing out?
Not like this, honestly. Ohio State has a really good football team, and I knew we had a chance, but I didn't think it was going to be 42-20. That's for sure.
You texted me during the fourth quarter that you could barely breathe. Why?
I was holding my breath. Ohio State always has a chance. You can't give them any breathing room. That's why. I was holding my breath. Didn't want them to come back and beat us.
For everyone watching now, let them know, Tyler. What's a Boilermaker?
Apparently me, according to David Blau, but a Boilermaker is the team that won on the field this evening is made up of Boilermakers. That's what Boilermakers are, right there. So.
Congratulations on a great win, the one that you foresaw and few other people did. I know you're headed to the locker room. I know you're going to enjoy that. Great win.
Thank you.
Guys, boiler up.
You know it. Boiler up, hammer down.
He said the Boilermaker team embodies the spirit. I think they would all say that that young man
sure does
embodies what the Boilermaker spirit is.
No doubt.
Wow. 3rd and 3. Haskins slings it to Hill, who goes to his knees and does move the sticks.
I think
clock inside of 3 minutes now.
It's like KJ Hill may have tweaked something. Slow to get up. I don't know. I look at this as not just Purdue's a huge win for Purdue of 42-20 with just under 3 minutes to go. If you're looking at Ohio State, it's a team that's ranked number 2 in the country. Much bigger issue than just getting upset. The execution, the energy, the attitude, poorly prepared tonight, didn't necessarily have energy and fight and a competitive spirit about them throughout this game. I think this is a bigger issue. The offense now just one-dimensional, strictly throwing the football, no running game at all. I think it's bigger. There's a bigger story and bigger challenges ahead for Ohio State than, hey, they went up to West Lafayette and got upset in a night game. So there's more to it.
No, well put. And a defense that gave up 6 touchdowns tonight. Haskins. They continue to work underneath. This is a little bit mystifying. You're down 22 points with 3 minutes to go, and he's throwing 5-yard routes. And move the sticks. As the Purdue fans chant, "We want Bama." Easy. But I'll tell you what, Blau told me that nobody talks about this, but the Boilermakers believe that despite just shocking the world and pulling the upset, they're contenders in the Big Ten West. It is intercepted. Bailey the other way. Marcus Bailey punctuates this upset with a pick 6. It's the perfect ending for Purdue on a storybook night. As the man not recruited by Ohio State, actually broken date, moved to Columbus, finishes it off. The night's first turnover is a pick 6.
Well, it's incredibly fitting for Marcus Bailey. We've talked all night about how he never got that offer from Columbus, from Ohio State, living in Columbus. And you oftentimes see guys, Urban Meyer can't take everybody. Oftentimes you see guys that have...
Purdue number 11 came on the field without his helmet on. Was not in the game. 15-yard penalty.
You know what? David Blau could take it. Yeah. He's earned that penalty.
I was just going to say, you see guys that are from Ohio that come back and get excited to play for against Ohio State. But this is a big night for Bailey, the leader of this defense, and steps up with 15 tackles, which is a career high. The interception there for 41 yards for a touchdown. And Dwayne Haskins and the Buckeyes back to the drawing board.
A 2-touchdown underdog is up by 4 touchdowns. You made the point, Kirk, a good one. Ohio State fans had to wonder if and when that one-dimensional offense, as explosive as the passing game is, would haunt them. Tonight is the answer.
Now, up to this point, they have proven without a dual-threat quarterback that the threat of a dual-threat quarterback, they can't control the line of scrimmage and they can't run the football.
And all the things that you talked about, the confusion, sometimes the misalignment in that back 7. Tonight, Purdue with 539 yards offense, and the defense reaches the end zone now.
Yeah, two Ohio State receivers run into each other. If you look out right in that area, ran into each other, miscommunication. Dwayne Haskins with a rare poor decision. You don't see him make these decisions. An errant pass. And Bailey is right there to capitalize on it. Take it into the end zone.
Anguish, that's a good word you used. That describes Meyer's mood tonight. And Blau, there he is running out there without the helmet, not involved in the PAT team. You congratulate Bailey, but yeah, all these Purdue veterans, Kirk, you know how much they have suffered, how few the wins have been, really until late last year when they made the push and won the bowl game.
Yeah, this is a team that's sitting now after this win at 4-3. They started the year 0-3, and those 3 losses by a combined 8 points. You know how easy it is to lose a team? But Jeff Brom, you talk about changing a culture in his second year. You start off 0-3, you might lose some guys. He didn't. They upset Boston College, have not looked back since. Much more of a dangerous team than that record would indicate at 4-3.
Kickoff move back because of Blau's penalty. And Dixon this time feels it at the 20. And stays alive for a while. Finally dragged down near the 45 inside of 2 minutes to play. Later on ESPN after the Lakers-Rockets LeBron home debut. Stay tuned for SportsCenter with Scott Van Pelt. Reaction from that game, his first as a Laker at the Staples Center. We'll break down the day in college football and a recap of the NLCS Game 7. Look ahead to the World Series. SportsCenter on ESPN and also the ESPN app. What a night for Purdue, and as you said, a big part of the story, this performance from Ohio State, as Haskins again just continues to work it underneath, and Weber's going to jump out after a 5-yard gain. They're going to get this bye week, Ohio State, then they can regroup. They go to Michigan State in a couple weeks, and of course, you know, just their first conference loss, so it doesn't eliminate them from any of their goals, but they have plenty of work to do.
Yeah, a lot of work to do, and you got to get the spirit back after a performance like this.
Haskins hit as he throws, and it leads to a high pitch over Weber's head. Cassidy Hubbard and the Ford wrap-up show coming up inside of 2 minutes.
Let me ask you this. I mean, when they had a loss like this to Iowa a year ago,
yep.
JT Barrett, Billy Price, there are guys in that locker room that could walk in, probably have a players-only meeting, and it was like listening to coaches when they walked into that room. Who are those guys on this roster that carry that kind of weight, that can have that kind of meeting to walk in there and say, hey, guys, tough loss, let's put it behind us, here we go?
Might have been Nick Bosa. He was one of the captains, but of course he's gone.
Yeah, and I just don't know if that was his character or role within the team. My point is, I don't know who that guy is.
They got the 3 receivers who are captains.
Yeah, McLaurin could be that guy.
Dixon.
Paris Campbell could be that guy. They're going to have to rely on some of the players in leadership, because JT Barrett and Billy Price and Jerome Baker and guys like that, they're not in the locker room.
You know, Haskins doesn't scramble or slide much. That was awkward, to say the least. And the clock just continues to wind down as Ohio State making really little attempt to chuck it downfield. Still on the run, and again thrown very short, out of bounds at the 30.
I talked, when you and I had our call with the coaches this week from Ohio State, I brought up, because of some of their issues with their run game and short yardage and red zone especially, I said, is there a chance that Tate Martell, you build a package, Urban, the way you did in 06 with Tim Tebow when he had Chris Leak, and he and Ryan Day both said, you know, we've talked about that. I mean, at least that would give them a dual quarterback in certain situations.
Remember with the drop.
Because it's hard to imagine them continuing to run the ball as poorly as they are when the weather changes, and continuing to rely on the passing game, on trips to East Lansing, games against Michigan. It's just not very realistic.
School records won't mean much to Haskins in a loss like this. Weber bounces down inside the 20. Final 50 seconds.
Last time you thought, you ever think you'd see an Ohio State quarterback throw it 72 times?
No, sir. And
72 times.
That's a record.
Well, who cares?
I'm not saying it's any consolation.
I mean, who gives it?
The answer is it's never happened before, so I never thought I would.
No.
But the story of tonight is Purdue and the Boilermakers with a total effort. Tremendous coaching, calculated gambles that pay off. This one is for themselves. It's for the coaches. It's for their fans and the alums. And it's for Tyler Trent, who got his wish, who showed the toughness and the heart to make it here tonight and watch his team drub the #2 team in the country. Final seconds, and wouldn't even snap it. Boilermakers rush the field. What a night in West Lafayette. It's a rage as the strobes are going off here. Have you ever seen this before?
How about the timing of the strobe lights? They got the fireworks going off.
They were ready for a party. Maybe they saw it coming. Nobody else did.
They had to practice that. I mean, it's right at 0.
Not just an upset of an undefeated #2 ranked team, a rout. 35 points in the second half, 4 fourth-quarter touchdowns by Purdue.
Jeff Brom doing special things with this team and getting them to believe. And that man, Rondale Moore, it's incredible how much an electrifying player can change an offense. And when you have a veteran quarterback like David Blau to go along with that, makes everybody better.
Oh, Blau has earned this. He's had some tough injuries. He's been through a lot. He's a graduate. He came to Purdue as a leap of faith, and he's a man of strong faith, hoping that wins like this could be possible. And for most of these veterans, they have waited a long time for a night like this. This is a party that might go on for a while in West Lafayette. There's Bailey, one of the heroes of that defense tonight. 15 tackles, the pick 6 to punctuate it. You saw that look of wonderment on the other side of the coin. A guy like Moore, a young guy who hadn't experienced all those losses, all those heartache years. He came here with a look of wonderment. The look on his face was really interesting at the end of the game as he just took it all in. Because this is what he envisioned when he put on that black and gold hat and said, I'm going to Purdue. Forget Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia, Florida State, Texas.
How about that guy? How about the program that he inherited? Got him to a bowl game last year, and now starts 0-3, and now he's won 4 in a row.
I think he thought it was possible. Don't know if Jeff Brom dreamed his team could play this well and win this emphatically, though.
Yeah, 49-20 against the #2 team in the country. Purdue fans will remember this one for a long, long time.
I think a lot of us will remember this day for a long, long time when the story of Tyler Trent that Tom Rinaldi told to you so beautifully on game day, and the way it played out tonight with him showing up so strong, so full of spirit, so alert. To watch this performance, to watch this team play a complete game like this, I'll tell you, it gets you.
It really does. And that feature this morning on game day, Tom spent a few days with him and his family, and I think it touched all of us who had a chance to watch that, and for him to make it, because even after he had planned on it, we still didn't know if he would be able to make it. And of course he ends up pulling into the stadium and obviously enjoys a big night tonight for the Boilers.
We hope it'll give him continued strength for his fight. As David Blau said, a Boilermaker fights until there is no more fight. Ohio State obviously will get knocked out of your top 4 with this loss tonight.
Yeah, you're obviously going to start with Alabama. Clemson, who looked really good today at home against a top 25 North Carolina State team, moves up. I move Clemson up, or I move LSU up into the top 3. This is a team that you look at who they have played and how they have performed, how consistently they performed. I think they deserve to be up there, and I'd put Notre Dame sitting there at 4, and Michigan starting to climb up. Michigan, I would probably put at 5.
Well, you got collisions between teams like LSU and Alabama coming up in a couple of weeks here. Meanwhile, here in West Lafayette, they don't care about anything else on earth but this moment right now as the fireworks go off. They have filled up just about every square yard of this field, and Maria Taylor has finally found Jeff Brom. Maria, can you hear me?
I can barely hear you, Chris, and we had to find Coach out here in the tunnel. I know that it was improbable, but certainly not impossible. The first top 2 win over a team since 1984 for Purdue. How did you guys manage to do this tonight?
Well, I'll tell you what, it's a credit to our team. We played aggressive all game. Our guys wanted to win. It meant something to them. This was an unbelievable team we played. It's very talented, but we just came out. We were aggressive from the get-go. There were some inspirational things going on with our team as well, but just a really meaningful win for our team.
You asserted your will this entire game. There was never a time when you were down. What allowed you to do that from beginning to end in this game?
Well, here's what allowed us. We started 0-3, and we were conservative, and we got our butts beat. So we knew, hey, we got to be aggressive. We got to play to win, and whatever happens, let's just the chips fall where they may. But this is a great performance, and our guys played to win.
We saw the plays, an interception for a touchdown. Rondale Moore slipping away and scoring one for you towards the end. What impressed you most about the performance?
Well, we had some unbelievable plays. Obviously, Rondale Moore is off the charts, phenomenal player that's came here and really taken this team by storm in this university. Our defense played lights out. Our offense made plays. We were aggressive. Really, it's just a great place to be. This team is hungry. They want to win, and we still got a long ways to go, but this performance here was obviously a tremendous one.
Coach, you mentioned the things that were inspirational going around your team. Tyler Trent, he circled this game on his calendar, said that he would be here. He's already been wheeled back into the locker room, and he called the Boilermaker win. What does it mean for you to get this win for Tyler in the stadium?
Well, it's unbelievable to have a young man like that who's gone through what he has. We've definitely, adopted him as our team captain. For him to fight this strong really just proves to our team that we've got to fight this strong. So we're happy to win it for him. We're happy to give him this moment, and I'm glad he predicted it.
Give a message to Tyler, whatever you want to say to him right now.
Well, we love you, Tyler. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being a Boilermaker. Definitely, you mean a lot to our football team, to this university, and we are Tyler Strong, so you continue to be Tyler Strong.
All right, thanks, Coach. Congratulations.
Jeff, you going to Harrison?
All right, Maria, thank you. There'll be some powerful moments in that Purdue locker room when the Boilermakers and Brom get together with Tyler in a few minutes. Meanwhile, the celebration continues, just jumping up and down, hollering, screaming. It's a euphoric evening in West Lafayette for this football program as they beat the Buckeyes by 29. We enjoyed bringing this to you. Game produced by Bill Bunnell, directed by Derek Mobley, our entire crew, men and women who bring you this ABC package. Happy you joined us tonight. Join us next week, Stillwater, Oklahoma, the Texas Longhorns and the Oklahoma State Cowboys. LeBron James and the Lakers playing over on ESPN now against the Rockets. But the Ford wrap-up show is coming up next with Cassidy Hubbard as the Boilermakers shock and rout Ohio State 49-20 on a special night here in Indiana.
And Chris, the last Big Ten unbeaten goes down. Welcome to the Ford Wrap-Up. I'm Cassidy.